Hey guys, so today we're going to be continuing the discussion from last time where we spoke about, in particular, Frankie, Rzuceks, and some of the stuff that's been going on through YouTube for the last few years. So let's get into it again.
Got color in your cheeks. Do you ever get that feel that you can't shift, the type that sticks around like summits in your teeth? Are there some aces up your sleeve? Have you no idea that you're in deep? I dreamt about you nearly every night this week. How many secrets can you keep? 'Cause there's this tune I found that makes me think of you somehow, and I play it on repeat until I fall asleep, spilling drinks on my settee. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go. Sorta hoping that you'd stay. We both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to you, never thought I'd calling when you ask you, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being lost to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. So have you got the goods? Been wondering if your heart's still open, and if so, I wanna know what time it should. Simmer down and poker up. I'm sorry to interrupt, it's just I'm constantly on the cuff. I've tried been to kiss you. I don't know if you feel the same as I do, but we could be together if you wanted to. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go. Was sorta hoping that you'd stay. We both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day.
To see such a wide diaspora of people in here. That's been one of the kind of byproducts of talking about issues on both sides, from what is mostly the community that I'm more familiar with, and some of your guys' community. And I've been around since the beginning of the Chris Watts stuff, so I've always been aware and reasonably well informed. But like I said the last time, I've become way more informed in the last 6 months to a year. Okay, so which mods do I have here right now? Stand up, Nuff Nuff, with respect mostly. Now, Nuff Nuff's going to be coming up on panel in a bit. So I might ask if anyone would like to volunteer to mod, say just for today, because we're talking about the same topic and obviously it's controversial, it's emotive. So we may get some difficulties in chat. And it's not always easy for me to catch things in the moment. So if anyone, Kali, cool. Okay, I'll mod you, Carly. And for you guys in here that are modding, anyone that has anything critical or even negative to say in regards to anything that either I've said or anyone on my panel has said prior to this or even today, that's all fine. That's absolutely fine. But anyone that goes off topic or gets personal in regards to anyone that's been on my panel, then that's the stuff that um, you want to warn against and then block. Hey, Cassius. Hey, Michelle. See, this is, yeah, Michelle, I know you're from more on my side of the community, right? So I would imagine hearing the last live would have been interesting for a bunch of you guys. Hey, Kindness Cake. Okay, let me mod Carly. I know Carly. I can trust Carly. Okay. Hey, Lizzie, how are you? Hey, Snowlion. Okay, so obviously, and by the way, guys, I've had a hell of a lot of emails and comments since the last live, so I've been a bit behind getting back to people. So if you're still waiting for a message or an email, then bear with me. Hey, Sheila. Okay, Susie and Suzanne are in here. Awesome. Okay. Hey, Wiccan. This is only your second time here. Well, welcome. You're from BAMS, right? Hey, Kiss My Axe. Melinda C. Yeah, you'd be right. Hey, Sarah. So obviously, I'm well aware that there was an inevitable bias in terms of the opinions and conclusions we were coming to regarding Frankie Rzuceks, the Rzuceks in general. I'm aware that that was always going to be the case because I can't sit on the fence in this because I strongly believe a few particular things. But that doesn't mean that if anyone has any issue with anything that's been said or I've said, then this is your chance to come up on panel. As I say, I'm going to be talking to Nuff Nuff for a bit because she was here from the beginning. She's well informed on this and she can give her perspective. But after that, I'm going to open up the panel. Normally, I struggle to get people jumping up on panel for some reason. But if anyone's around who's listening to this and has an objection to anything that's been said or was said in the past, then I'll put the link in here and you'll be respected on panel and in chat, as long as you're respectful. And tell us why we're wrong or why I'm wrong or whoever you've heard is wrong. Because I can't force people to volunteer to come up and make the counter argument. People have to volunteer to do that. Hey, Genetic Code, how are you? And in the meantime here, if any of you guys have any questions in relation to the last live, then stick them in here and I'll try and answer where I can. That's the thing, Melinda. See, yeah, a lot of people, especially over on the others on that side of the community that's like the armchair detective community and the what used to be the truthers community. A lot of what was said on the previous live would not be a surprise, but to us over on the other side, it would be a bit more eye-opening. Kindness Cake says it's hard not to be biased when we are presented with a super pawns like Junior. His grabbing is undeniable, but kudos Rabid for offering a fair discourse. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know that there's been certain creators that have been standing up and saying and being honest about issues that they've had. Obviously, Bam's a good example. Kelly, the advocate, and even some of you guys over on what used to be the Truther side have been for a while. But it's certainly only recently that it's become a lot more comfortable to say certain things that might be inconvenient for some people to hear. Roberta, yeah, I got a lot of emails regarding that live, yeah. I sure did. But there's so much to this. Oh, cool, Cheryl. Yeah, please do, because you have your opinions. Hopefully we'll go long enough. I know you're busy right now. No, I didn't get any threats, Melinda. Touch wood, not yet. But that's what I mean. It's easier now to be honest about a few things. There's no denying, in my mind, that these people have manipulated the good intentions of a lot of people. And do we have the right to criticize that? Genetic is speaking on behalf of all Canadians. I don't know what a vag of milk is either. I don't know if I want to know that. I don't know. Wiccan Moon says, I didn't appreciate him lying about money. I gave him privately via PayPal. He said I never gave him a penny, so I had to post my PayPal receipts. I proved the man is a liar. I heard about that, Wiccan, yeah. And that's the pattern. That's the pattern. And people have heard about the auction that was done to try and help the this crowd justice that's taken place, to try and help him to get to the initial goal of 25,000, which was a target that had to be met, or the pledges that people made would not go through. So a whole bunch of you guys came up with the idea of doing a live-a-thon, an auction. And there was a whole bunch of issues with that. It took a long time for purchases to be sent out. From what I hear, some people may still not have received them. And when Sandy was asked about this with issues regarding the auction, she said, you can have your money back. Stick it where the sun don't shine. Hey, Solly. Hey, Night Owl. Stick it where the sun don't shine, guys. You're allowed to say that if you're a victim, right? If you have the audacity to expect some kind of disclosure or transparency, then you just need to get over yourself. Do you know who you're speaking to? YouTube is holding for review people tagging Salty Bitch because of the bitch name. That's ridiculous. Hey, Kelly's here. Kelly's here. Yeah, I presume you're aware of Nuff Nuff, Kelly. She's going to come up in a bit. What was your initial channel name again? Enough Armchair Detective, something like that. But Nuff Nuff is an OG. An OG. They are classless, Sarah. Cheryl, I want my money back. We paid for nothing. Your name rings a bell, Cheryl. Were you in here last time? Or were you in? Oh, you left me a comment. You left me a comment about this, right? Kelly's asking if everyone is doing wonderful. I think we are. Although it's way too warm over here across the pond. I cannot take this humidity. Can't take it. Armchair detective, enough is enough, that's it, yeah. So you've since shortened it to Nuff Nuff. Kindness Cake says, not only do we have the right to speak about it, we have a duty to. Are we not decent human beings? Why should we sit back and let him con his way through victimhood? Why should Frankie get a pass? Well, you're absolutely right. He does not get a pass. Sorry. No pass, Frankie. It's been brutal today, Roberta. Yeah, I still have a coffee in my hand. If I could, I'd inject coffee straight into my veins. That's a problem. After dark, coffee and crime is watching from the waiting room. I hope it's nothing serious. No pass, please refund. Yep, people have a right to ask. I'm no legal expert. I mean, I went through some of the terms and conditions last time, and it looks to me like under extenuating circumstances, crowd justice may approve refunds. So, and I would advise anyone that has donated that does want to ask for a refund. I know not everyone does, but a lot do. I hope that you're heading over to Bam's channel because she's really spearheading that. And she would appreciate to see you guys in there. Um, that being said, let's put her link in the chat. Bam is one of the ones that Frankie was telling everyone that he's gonna try and sue. Once he's done with Armchair Detective, I think Seeking the Truth with Dave is another one. And Bam. Hey Welsh lady. So that's Bam's channel there, guys. Carrie says, we had some very hot weather, so it was a relief to get the storm this afternoon. I'm not sure, Elsie. I know she was live the other night. I didn't catch that. Where's Natasha? Anyone know where Natasha is? I hope she's okay. I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's just living life, but she's not been around for 3 or 4 days now. Right, Brian, that'll be it. Yeah, Bam will be enjoying the heat. Thanks, Carly. Jelly Bear, good to see you again. I did get your message about Sarah Boone. I'm going to be covering that soon with Cheryl, hopefully, because there's 3 or 4 letters that I've not actually gone through yet. But I know that she's now going to be coming up for her 7th attorney, and I think the pre-trial is now October. Damn right, Kelly. Bring it. Kelly has the proof. And Kelly, you would have heard Kelly last time, guys. And Kelly is very believable, as was Bam. And as she says, she has the proof. Genetic pre-trial for Sarah Boone, October the 30th. Oh, she's got a new lawyer, Winston something or other. Winston Churchill. I think she's going to need Winston Churchill. Knowing what Florida juries can be like. No offense, Florida. Carly says Sarah Boone is just prolonging the process for herself while complaining it's taken too long. Yeah, well, she's come up for 3.5 years. For what, in my opinion, is the wrong charge. Yorkshire Tea. On what grounds was Frankie going to sue BAM and AD? And Tinies Cake says, on imaginary defamation. It does not exist. Frankie's just whinging the grift. Yeah, this is what has become apparent to everyone, that he doesn't give a monkey's about any principle of holding a true crimer accountable. That a principle of whether you believe it or not, that any true crimer has a limit in terms of their free speech. Now, I think there is a limit. I don't know if Armchair Detective crossed that line. I am neutral on Armchair Detective. I used to be a big critic of him. But does he deserve to be taken off YouTube? No, not from what I've seen. Does he have some content that's disingenuous? Yeah, but that's not a crime. It's not a crime. And there are far more controversial creators out there now covering the Chris Watts case. So it's just not about a principle for Frankie. Apparently he was looking for 100,000 from Armchair Detective. It's not going to happen. He knows that 95% of civil cases get settled out of court. It's what he wants. And just like Val, truth be told, comically admitted months ago, it's all he's after. The evidence is all there. And we can go through it again. Wicked Moon, I got attacked because I proved he was a liar. Then they went after my sick father. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Yep, shameful. Thanks, stand up. Yeah, help the algorithm, guys. Wiccan says, Kelly, they did. They're horrible people, the lot of them. If I had have known about Junior's arrests, no way I'd have given him a penny. Sorry. Yeah, because some people might be wondering, why even talk about his criminal record? Well, he was claiming that, and as far as I know, aren't Cohen Davis still claiming on his behalf the Armchair Detective defamed him by suggesting he had a criminal record? Now, from what I hear, they contacted Claire Morgan asking her to confirm that he didn't have a criminal record. So who knows how that communication went? From what I hear, people have sent off their own back proof of his criminal record. And it's just the fact that he lied about it, or Sandy lied about it on his behalf, from what I understand. And then when you add everything up, the fact that their project manager, or Colin Davis's project manager for this Refund, Claire Morgan, was telling everyone she was a solicitor, retired solicitor. She obviously lied about that. She lied to a lot of people. She hurt a lot of people. Um, as a result, and the fact that the Rzuceks repeated the lie that she really was a lawyer and seemed to have no problem with the repercussions on a lot of people that put a lot of work in. Because from what I hear, Claire didn't do a lot of work really. There was a lot of other guys that you will be familiar with that did the spade work. And the evidence of the grift is it's a long list. Let me just see if we can get Jenny to come up because I do want to open up the panel, but it'd be good to just have a kind of one-on-one discussion with Nuff Nuff first, so you guys can hear from her perspective, her experience of all this. I hope I've not missed any questions. Okay, here's Nuff Nuff.
Oh.
Hey, you.
Hang on. Do I have wait a minute? Oh crap, where've you gone?
You there? I can hear you.
Sorry, I needed to mute my YouTube so I'm listening to you. Hello everybody. You alright, Rabid?
Yeah, very good. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. Just trying to survive this heat.
Oh, it's too much, isn't it?
Well, you know, us women at this age get hot flushes anyway, so it's just treble the pain, really. Just like a melting furnace. It's horrible.
It is.
Yeah, and yeah, my dogs are struggling, and well, everybody's dogs are struggling, but you know, I'm just thinking myself.
Keep them well watered.
Yeah, I've got them a big paddling pool out in garden, and they keep going having a plunge in there, so that's good. They drink plenty, but they just don't. They're not going for the walks. I just can't walk them in this weather.
Yeah.
You know, it's just too much for them.
Draining.
It is. It's horrible. But I do hear thunder in the background, so we're praying for some rain. To cool us down.
Well, it's raining where Brian is, our Brian. So can you send some over here?
Yeah, you know, it's not so much the heat; it's the humidity.
Yes, I know.
There's just no air.
Yep.
There's nothing. It's, you know, when you go abroad, you've got the heat and you've got, you know, nice breeze and fresh, clean air. Just somehow it just seems to be like sat in a greenhouse. Literally, sat in a greenhouse. Horrible. Anyway, here we are again.
So yeah, I mean, Sheila's been targeted recently. She says all sorts of shady shit been done to her and said about her since she asked for a refund. Even her work was contacted and private pics uploaded. And the obvious implication or insinuation of that is that it's as a result of what she's been putting out there in regards to the Rzuceks. You know, wherever it's come from people that are supporting these people.
Well, obviously. I mean, to be fair, I don't. I mean, I listened to yours a little bit last week. I don't follow much around it much now. It just. I can't. It's hard. It's hard to put into words what it did when you're so invested in something.
Mm-hmm.
It like this weather, it drains you emotionally, and
yeah, that's why people like you have switched off to it, though, right? Because it became so draining after all the support that you gave.
Yeah. Well, initially, you know, I didn't set out as a as a support for the Rzuceks family. I've got to make that clear. It was just that he was talking of the Watts case, and they just sort of like was part of that, obviously, and it became part of it. I mean, obviously, I felt so bad for what he used to say about him, but he used to really grind my gears. I watched him for about, well, I was sub to him, and then I just you know, this is just ridiculous, the lies he's telling and stuff. And I got wise to him, and it was actually 3 years today, roughly, when I started my channel. So, and it was mainly to call him out and debunk him on his lies. It was nothing other than that. But
That's a good point, though enough, just quickly. And Cheryl makes this same point. What it was to a lot of people was them believing that this creator was acting disingenuously, right? And they wanted him held accountable as over and above supporting the Rzuceks, whether they did or not, right? That was the main focus of a lot of people, and that's not said enough.
Yeah, it was, and that's what it became. It became that because there were so many people invested in it, and you know, fighting to get AD off. But along with that came the Rzuceks family and the all emotional things that's wrapped around that. You know, yeah. It's really difficult to speak about, to be honest, because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to minimize anybody else's feelings. I don't want to, bring back some horrible memories, because there were a lot of falling out. I do want to make crystal clear. I do know that, I do listen to some and I watch some bits, and there's one creator who is, saying that BAM is the cause of the end of the crowd justice. That's not true.
Is that Val? Is that Val saying that?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, okay.
She's accusing that, and I mean that's just wrong, because BAM's fighting for her subscribers to get their money back. I get that fully. Now, I've just totally lost my train of thought where I was. Oh yeah. What I was going to say were the collapse of all of this was Claire Morgan, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the collapse of it, because we believed her, we trusted her, and the community trusted her, and people bought into the whole idea of supporting the family to bring a case against AD, to shut up, basically, to stop his lies, his conspiracies, the things that he did to make money out of that family was just gross and wrong. And we all had the same goal, but we was lied to and deceived. And I want people to know that when I say we, I'm going to name the girls. I'm sure they won't mind. But when I say we was a close group of girls, which was me, Helen, Stand Up, Carrie, Shirley, and Claire. Okay? When I say we, that's who I'm referring to. I'm not referring to Jen or Sam, Salty, sorry, because they were part of the whole crowdfunding and all that, but there wasn't our group, our private group. We was a close group of friends, and things just weren't starting to add up. Now, I'm not sure, I can't think of timeline, and I'm not sure. I know Bam had told me that Claire wasn't a sister, but she's my friend. I'm like, what do you mean? And Bam told me, and I went, oh God, I don't. And then I felt guilty because I'm sort of like harboring this information. And then Whiskey came up and did a live about it, and we're like, oh God, So then I was able to speak to girls about it because I didn't want to betray Bam's confidence anyway. And Bam knew all of this anyway. So I we started talking about Claire went up and blah, 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 blah. But things started not to add up, and I'm not going to go into any detail because that's private, and it'll never come from my mouth. And I think the wee girls will say
respect that. Yeah, they agree, and people
it's
will
private.
respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, we had private conversations with Claire and lots of things, and that'll never ever be discussed. And then it just the shit just basically hit the fan. AD started spouting about it. Our creator, our getting messages, and is Claire a solicitor? There were demands coming from me there and everywhere. And we sort of, had a meeting and said, look, Claire, you just don't need to. I know, and people have said you shouldn't be asking your friend this, but the pressure were on, because people had invested and people were starting to feel cheated and deceived and lied to, all the things that come with deceit. And it was getting really uneasy on YouTube streets. And we sort of said to Claire, just show us something and we can defend you, we can support you, we can, you're our friend and we want to do that. But nothing came to fruition. And then it just all spiraled out of control, and that were it. And I feel so bad because I were an integral part of the crowdfunding, like everybody else. Well, I'm talking about my feelings now. I put a lot of work into getting stuff together. And I mean, watching AD for like hours on end, clipping things, all the live chat, clipping comments out of live chat, and sending them to Claire. Claire was sort of like the coordinator of all the work that were coming in.
She was the go-between, right?
Yeah, and you said earlier about she didn't really do anything. She did, but it was glory hunting, obviously. We could have, if we'd have been given a link we could have sent the same clips off. But Claire just wanted to grasp it all and take ownership. Of it,
what I was told is that how Frankie said that she was such an important part of all this, right? What I was told is she may well have been, but there were other people that did a lot more than her. Well, not a lot, but a few at least.
No, listen, Claire collated everything. There was a load of us that did the groundwork of taking the clips, of watching the lives, watching the live chat, and all the everything. We together we did that and sent it off. Now Claire just sent him to a link, but claimed the ownership of that, which really pissed a lot of people off. We weren't out for brownie points. We weren't out saying but what happened from that were, when the exposure of Claire came out, we were called the most horrible names.
Yeah.
And it's that. Yeah. When you say it's like a stab through heart, it really felt like that. It hurt so much to see all my friends so deflated, ignored, spoke to like we were trash, called trash, called evil souls, called heartless people after all we'd done. The entire weekend I spent on that live-a-thon, I think I had about 5 hours cape in between. Again, I don't want to sound that I'm after brownie points, because I'm not. I did it by choice. I wasn't forced into doing it. But when you turned on and spoke to like that, it's just gross. And I lost all respect from that family then. And I took a back seat, but I got a lot of shit for that. I got a lot of shit from certain creators having a go at me for stepping down. Not stepping down, because I weren't up. Just stop it. Just stop doing it. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then I got a load of shit off Val, off Outback, off just in general. The comments, they were, oh, you coward, you're stepping back, blah, 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 blah. I mean, like, calling me a coward, and it's like I've got no right, I've got no choice in this. It was just all, and just, got great support from my friends, but that's where the split came. And we got, we were having private StreamYard chats, and then, Sam and Jen they discovered more. They had it was me and stand up. That's right. Sorry, I'll just go back a bit.
Yeah, can you go over how that first got exposed about Claire? Like where, like, 'cause that happened on BAMS, right? With you guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bam knew anyway. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
Bam was sort of like, told you so. But it's hard. Not that I didn't believe Bam. It's hard to believe. You know, when you think your friend's lying to you.
Yeah.
And we were close. It's hard to believe that. But yeah, she were right. So we went on BAMS and me and stand up just absolutely. We were heartbroken and we dropped the bombshell. But we also got a lot of shit of that because what happened where Claire just basically ghosted everybody. She just blocked everybody, ghosted everybody, wouldn't speak to anybody. And again, that's something else. If she'd have come up and said, I'm sorry, because that's when I'm jumping back and forward here. Because,
no, you're okay.
Because Jen and Sam got it was about the number, for all the copyrights, they were deeply involved in that.
Do you want to just, Jenny, do you want to just quickly explain the copyright thing and why that was a method that they were trying to use to bring Armchair Detective off YouTube? Because a lot of people might not be aware of that.
No, you'll have to get Jen up for that.
All right, okay.
It's too...
Well, basically it was because they were trying to argue that public images from Facebook, right, of Shanann and perhaps the kids, the fact that he was using that, that could be one method of trying to get him off YouTube, right? But because they're on Facebook, they're public images, it's a public case, right? So that's where the problem was. But I believe what I hear is that Claire was perhaps given a different impression to people.
I think it was something to do with it. I think it's Jen might say in chat, an ISO number or something. She was supposed to submit him to this certain department, and the strikes had gone on, and he'd got strikes on every channel and everything, and they were about to come down. Well, that's what we were being told, and it were TikTok, any day now. And we were, of course, all excited because it's something that we'd been doing for a while and put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
And Jen and were not pressuring, but saying, show me is it, Jen, because Jen's saying, is it an ISO number or something, Jen? It's a number that it's a place where they had to send the copyright strikes to, and basically she didn't send it, so they just all fell off. They didn't stand, and they would have done. They'd have all come off because they were copywritten. But they did belong to the Rzuceks, I believe. But I might be telling that wrong. I weren't. Yeah, here we go. Long story short, Claire lied about the entire process, submitted nothing. Yeah, that's it. She didn't submit anything to YouTube, but she was telling us that she were, and we were believing it, and then just to completely, I think it was Jen and Sam I went in on that call. Jen and Sam were in on a call with her, and Jen said, give us the ISO number, give it, and she just couldn't provide it. And then that were it. She disappeared.
Yeah.
She just went dead, quiet. And that was, and then obviously there's all these people that had put the money in, like Sheila. And I feel bad, Sheila. I really do for that. Sheila donated, well, she donated a lot, but I know she donated $100 to watch me and Outback have a Yorkshire Pudding challenge. That was one of the challenges. And that never came to fruition, which because of the breakup through Claire. And then there was Angela Cook, who paid $150 for a band, a Shanann band, to send to me. I never got it. And 4 times I emailed. I didn't particularly want it at that point, but I wanted it because Angela wanted me to have it. And I emailed 4 times, and the last one I got was basically, get stuffed, you're not having it.
Right.
And and
that's the kind of language a lot of people have received from them, right?
Yeah. Well, it didn't actually come from the Rzuceks. I've got to say, it come from someone else. I'm not prepared to name.
Right.
But it was a. Well, we're not doing that now. That's ended. We haven't got any left, or We can't trace the payment. Basically, we're lying. And Angela Cook were a massive supporter of my channel and a massive supporter of the family. She donated a lot of money that night, and so did a lot of people in this chat. And it's just disgusting that how things have turned. Now, about the assault, again, Bam told me about that, and I hit the roof over that and questioned Claire, and Claire said, no, it's not. This isn't an give me some explanation. And I went, all right, okay. And I freaking fell for it like a sucker. You know, we were all sucked in, Rabid, by it. Everybody, and this is why everybody is so angry, because it was all for a genuine cause. It was all to help support a family, and now it's turned so sour, and how they're treating people. I mean, Frankie's got his own channel. Why ain't he raising his own money?
He has no content.
He can make content. You don't have to. He could just come up and video Dita. Why don't you do a little video of Dita? It gets thousands.
He would, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay, I know I'm going back in the chat here, but I wanted to just show this comment here. So Melinda's asking, are they still asking for money but a higher amount than originally? Am I understanding that right? Yeah, so the initial, when the crowd justice was started, now when was that? Was that around December 2021? Enough, does that sound accurate?
Again, I'm just reading Lily's comment.
Yeah, so just to talk about the crowd justice, the initial goal was 25,000. You have to reach that on crowd justice.
I think it was 35, I think. Was it 35, I believe?
I think it was 25 initially.
Right, okay.
Because the way that crowd justice operates, if they don't receive funds over that, then the pledges don't go through. So this is when the auction came in, because they were at 15,000, I think, at that point, 15K. So then all you guys did this live-a-thon telephone thing to get him to 25,000, right? And he was telling people this was for his legal fees against Armchair Detective.
Yeah.
And I think you guys managed to get him over somewhere about 30,000 at that point.
I think we were at 38, Rabid, to be honest.
Maybe, yeah. But then the thing is, at that point, they implemented a stretch goal afterwards, up to about 40 or 50,000. That was added. But most people presumed that he needed the 25K to start the legal process, like whether it was for a retainer or not. So people were concerned that they hadn't been made aware of these plans initially. And then when the 40 or 50K stretch goal was reached, then another stretch goal up to 75 was added.
Right.
So that's where the goal is at the moment, and they're sitting somewhere around 55,000. And each stretch goal has a 30-day period, but they can just extend it ad infinitum over and over after it lapses. And from what I hear, he said he needs another 20,000 to continue the legal process. And yet from Cohen Davis on his behalf are trying to get Armchair Detective to cover these fees, the retainer fees. So it sounds like he's trying to double dip, right? Is the point?
Yeah. Well, he can raise it himself, can't he?
Well, there's just no denying, okay? When you think about the amount of payouts the families had, it's in the region of 1.5 million since this.
Yeah.
You know, there's the assurance from Shanann's employers, Lovell.
Yeah.
There's the Anadarko life insurance policy, 700,000. I think Lovell was about 200K. Then they got all the assets from Chris and Shanann, and they sold the house for somewhere around 600,000. So that's 1.5 million. Okay, now
I know.
and Frankie still lives with them, right?
Yeah, I know.
What's going on there?
It's wrong. It's fraud, isn't it? It's fraud, and it's just wrong. It should be, now's the time. People have chipped in. now's the time to get, them people that they've deceived, and that like you say about the lies about the assault on that child, not a criminal record.
Hmm.
He can't sue AD for defaming him because he has got a criminal record. I get that.
It's
Um,
unbelievable that they actually tried that. That blows my mind.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and Sandra covered for him, and lied and said it weren't true, and it was the child fell, he didn't hit her. That what I got told. It's just awful. And when you look at some other channels that are, doing a fundraiser for laptops and holidays to Florida, and we got share. Is it share with teeth? People are
Hmm.
raising 5 and 6, and Natasha and Natasha. Look at Natasha. I mean,
Hmm.
they ought to employ Natasha to do a fundraiser because she'd have him the money in no time. You
It's
know,
unbelievable, yeah, when you think about the case, this
yeah,
tragedy that he's not been able to get there. That's telling you something.
yeah. Yeah, and I've never, if people want to pay to these people, that's absolutely fine. If they, they want to do that, it's their money. They can do what they want with it. But it's the lies and the the constant victim. The constant, oh, we're a grieving family and there's been so many murders. There's been so many people have lost their families, and I don't see anybody else behaving in this way. I
Well,
just
let's think about the I was reading about from Reddit the other day. Compare it to the Gabby Petito case, right? That family, they've also collected money to be
yeah,
donated,
millions.
right? And it's to
Yeah,
be donated to victims of violent domestic abuse, okay? However, all the money they've received has been accounted for, it's been shown, and they have good relations with the organizations they work with.
yes, yes,
That's the difference.
yes, it is. And the updates, I mean, it's crickets all the time. When people ask what's happening, they get mind your own business sort of thing. We can't speak about it. It don't have to go into detail. They can, they can speak about how the fun's going, and they can speak about themselves, what they're doing with their lives, and just show an interest in the people that have donated this money. But
Hmm.
there's no interest in them at all, none. And it's that's really making I mean the train's really rolling now. And yeah, Bam is the she has. I mean, like I say, I don't go on much, and I just know I see Sheila and I drop into Kiss, and I get general vibe. And yeah, I mean, good on her. She's going for it, and good on her. Um,
Yeah, I mean, some people might have an issue with Bam because she's ferocious, right? She,
mm,
she's she's a f- she's quite a force, and I think some people need to see beyond that. Um, she she's certainly passionate. She's certainly angry, but I can't disagree with much of what she's been saying over the last 6 months or so. Um,
uh,
and she has
because
a right.
Yeah, and I think I mean, I would imagine that Bam feels a bit aggrieved. I know she'll not say so, but I've got to think that because right at the beginning, Bam was she was right in there
Hmm.
with the Watts case, and did she did. I believe that her and Cindy did some great work with the detective work around that,
Hmm.
and they invested time in it. So I think somewhere along the line, and you think, hang about, you're selfish, ungrateful,
Hmm.
and
It's this
then
entitlement, right? They feel entitled
yeah,
to have no questions
yeah,
because they suffered such a tragedy. Of course they did, right? Everyone has empathy for them
mm,
for that. But it doesn't give you a right to act that way
no,
and to shit all over people that you asked for help.
Yeah, and that's it. That's it. That's exactly it. The entitlement. We've lost our family, so we're entitled to, treat people like that because we've lost our family. Well, that's just not how it works. I'm afraid they should be grateful and eternally grateful, but they're not. I mean, I listened to a bit of last week's. Kelly and I never saw eye to eye, which is fine. But I thought it was diabolical. They Trek Kelly, absolutely diabolical.
It was, yeah. I mean, Kelly and I have had a lot of issues as well in the past, but that was an eye opener.
There's no
An eye opener to hear her.
No excuse at all. She fought their corner and fiercely. And to treat her like that is just awful, really awful.
J Lord says the Rzuceks brought in 100K for a trip to Colorado on a GoFundMe. Bad thing is Colorado covers that for families of crime victims. Yeah, so
Yeah,
they did a GoFundMe right after the murder. I think it was around about 30 or 40K, which they got. Then there was a 10,000 GoFundMe from Frankie, which was supposed to go to legal fees for AD to fight the evil people. It didn't. It didn't go there. Frankie just disappeared. He disappeared,
I believe.
right? And another YouTube creator that we mentioned earlier covered that apparently.
Yes. Yes, he did. Yes, I was in on the private conversation when that got disclosed. Yes.
There you go. Okay.
Yes.
You heard it.
Yes, we was in a private StreamYard with these people, and yes, they covered that.
And they also raised money for funeral costs, but all costs for the funerals was covered, as well as travel costs.
Yes.
From the Colorado Victims of Violent Crimes Foundation. So where did the money that was raised for the funeral costs go? They also received payment from the Netflix doc and their appearance on Dr. Phil. I think they are denied that in the past.
Yes, yeah. Well, I believe that I was told they didn't get any money for that, but who knows?
A school friend of Shanann, Lauren Arnold, asked Sandy what she could do to her when she heard that Shanann and the kids were missing. Sandy told her, make flyers and set up a GoFundMe account.
Wow.
The money was raised for Shanann's law that Kelly was at the head of.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Right. Where did all that go?
Well, fund a lifestyle, I presume. It seems that way, isn't it?
Frankie apparently got about $2,000 in super chats recently, or when he put up that video of NK.
It did. I was there that night. Yeah, it did. Yep, they were rolling in. This is what I'm saying. Now, that just shows you that in one night, it can raise $2,000. Then surely that should be a light bulb moment. Hey, I'm onto a thing here. We can do this. And, once a week, get some content, create some content, do something, and raise his own money. Show some initiative and support the people who are supporting them.
At least try.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not be great at it, right? But at least try, do something proactive, altruistic. You can't, it's too easy to just have your hands held out to the world forever as a victim. You'll get nowhere like that psychologically in life, and you'll be no use to anyone around you.
Yeah. No, Rabid, I mean, it is hard doing a channel, but you never come into Nobbington, but
yeah,
I did Nobbington every week for maybe a year, and I never monetized because that was a written rule that we never monetized. But if I'd have said, right, I'm going to raise some money, I'm going to put a PayPal in, and you've got to pay for a question, them chatters, them subs in that chat would have put money in it because they're generous like that. They would have done that. That's all. Frankie only had to do a quiz. It don't take much to, you can go on YouTube to look for ideas how to how to grow your channel, how to monetize your channel. You can, it's all out there. It just takes a little bit of initiative, and they showed none. They showed absolutely zero initiative. Let everybody else do it. That's the attitude I felt they had. At like the entitlement and all that. Yeah. So,
yeah, and you have a right to express that. Yeah, thanks, Carly. Yeah, that's a good question, Carrie. How much was raised for Shanann's Law that went nowhere? If Kelly's still in here, she might have heard. I did say I was going to put the. Is there anything else you would like to go over? Enough before I put the link in chat in case anyone wants to come up.
no, just I mean, I don't like digging up old stuff, but I think it needs to be, it needs to be said that, and you'd think now after all this time and all the, the channels that have said, Claire shows some proof. I mean, everybody's asking for it now. You'd think, I mean, anybody'd say, well, here you go. I'm sick of your all bump. There you go. There's me proof, but nada. So, and the fact that the Rzuceks said that she were a lawyer is bang out of order, because they haven't seen proof.
Yeah.
There isn't proof because she ain't one.
She isn't one.
I do want to say something though that I do think needs clarifying a bit, and I'm not defending Claire here. Claire was never appointed as their solicitor. AD keeps saying this. She wasn't appointed as their solicitor. She told them she was a solicitor, and they trusted her that she would be able to. That's the difference. She wasn't appointed.
Yeah, and what was so hurtful to a lot of you guys that were, I guess, by inference, vouching for her, was to be betrayed, to be lied to like that. That was where a lot of hurt was done, right?
Yeah, because when things started to come to head, obviously I got Bam told me that, and then Whiskey did a live and all that. We started talking, which were awful, because we were, when I say we, I mean, we were talking. It was sort of behind Claire's back, but we struggled with for about 2 months of, what we're going to do here, for God's sake, and it was just an awful time. It really was an awful time, because she was our friend and we loved her, and it was just so sad, and people never seem to have got that. They were, oh, so what, you got ghosted, so what? And so what if she blocked you? Big deal. It were a big deal, because she blocked everybody out of this community. It was a big deal when these people who are saying that, wasn't invested like we all were, and hadn't put the time and effort and emotions into it all. And so, it were a big deal, because all people wanted was an explanation. What's happened? Why has this happened? For her, because she was the head of the pyramid, so to speak. She was the person that should have come up. She had a channel. She could have used anybody's channel to come up and say, look, guys, this is what's happened, and explain it. But nothing. Crickets. And that is wrong.
Well said, Jenny. Well said.
Very, very wrong.
Genetic Code says Sandy or Frankie made a community post doubling down that Cohen Davis verified Claire Morgan was a solicitor, when Claire herself debunks that along with her false law background claims.
Yeah, all she supplied was a utility bill, and I think it were a passport or something. That's all she provided. She
verified that she was a person.
Yes, and it's a DBS check. What we have to have when we're involved in these sort of things, we usually all have to have them. It was a DBS check, and it's just a background check. That's all. It doesn't define your career. It doesn't tell you that you're a solicitor, a doctor, nurse, or anything. It tells you that you're clean.
Yeah.
So they lied there, because Claire even said it, that that's all she provided.
Oh, Cheryl says Molly gave Frankie 3 grand. Yeah, Molly
Yes,
Golightly. That's right.
yes, Cheryl, that's right. Yes, she did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cheryl, did you? I think I said in one of the comments. It might be good for you to head over to Bam's channel. Hope you got that, because I know you're looking for a. You want to ask for a refund, right? And I know, like I should say that refunds are not everyone is obviously concerned about the refund thing, right? But it's a principle as well. You know, it's not just the financial aspect, it's the principle of feeling that you've been manipulated,
Yeah,
lied to, taken advantage of. Those people have a right to ask for a refund,
yeah,
whether they get it or not.
yeah. You know, a Q&A would be really good for these people that have subscribed, sorry, donated. Why not? You know, they've put out there that they want everybody's help. You know, thank you, my wonderful YouTube family and all that. Well, speak to your YouTube family. Talk to your YouTube family. Get up on a channel and talk to people. Thank people individually when they come into chat. There's nothing nicer when you go into a chat and they go, "Hiya, Wiccan. Hiya, Lord.
Hmm.
Hiya, kindness." Do that. Show some
Hmm.
bloody respect.
And like I've said this, um, I've said this before. Um, it can take a long time to earn respect from people, but it takes no
Second.
time at all to lose
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and
And
an
you know,
eternity to get back.
you've got your other side who's saying that it constantly. I mean, I've never berated Shannon. I've never berated Frankie publicly.
Yep.
Called him names or anything like that. So it's not what I do. And I don't like that personally. I
Hmm.
don't like it. But it's you can't go around dictating to people who want to express their view. They've got a view and they're entitled to say it. I just don't do that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's important to recognise, right, that Frankie, from what I believe, has never expected people to not talk about the case, from what I gather. It's the fact that the principle was supposed to be about limitations of free speech. That's what
Yeah.
all you guys were in this for. Number one, why the focus on just AD when there's other channels that are far more controversial? And number two, why does it seem to be that it's just the money that you're after? You want an out of court settlement.
Yeah. I think the thing about AD was that, I mean, he ground my gears, and we just, we called him out on his lies, the photo shopping, the Chris Watts letters, the end of month scam, the lying to his subs, just we found, we just know he just lied, and they're all photoshopped. Then we were saying that Nicole Kessinger were there. She wasn't there. She wasn't there at all. And he's just created this cesspit of conspiracies, and
Yeah.
that he needs to take account of that. you know you
I
can't
think,
boil the ocean, Rabbit.
right, good
I
point.
I
Yeah.
focused on AD because he ground my gears. I didn't watch anybody else,
Yeah.
but and you can't when you're focused on one person. It's too much.
Hmm.
I mean, at one point, it just, that's all I did. I just watched it, and debunked him and that, because I just hated the fact that he was taking money off people. I mean, I never donated, but when I
Yeah.
saw that, the Chris Watts letters were terrible. The money he earned off that, I think it was something like, Lizzie might be able to say, something like 16 grand he got from that, was just a complete lie.
Yeah, and someone brought this up earlier. It might have been you, Melinda C. Why did he focus on AD? I think it can only be because he was the one making the most money about the Watts case back then, right? And it's so much
Yeah,
easier to see that in retrospect, obviously.
yeah. But I do think it was, they were supporters of AD in the beginning, and they were members in his
Hmm.
in his chat, and
Yeah,
he blocked them.
I think there were. I think one or two of them, one or two of the Rzuceks did have a range, even if it was
They
just for a
did,
day or two. I
yeah,
don't
they
know.
did, and he blocked them. And I mean, Maureen Cook will be able to tell you about that because she was a moderator at the time. But I don't know whether Maureen's in listening. I mean, she might be want to come if you want to go down AD route, but she might not now. I don't know. I think it's in a review mirror as well, like all of us. But you know, at that time, they blocked the Rzuceks and they couldn't speak. And
Well,
that's
Frankie got himself blocked from Scott Reich's channel
I know.
some time ago. I wasn't aware of that, right? And we all know how, you know, how fair he is. You know,
Yeah.
he's a fair professional creator. So how did he manage to get blocked on that channel? That's telling you something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what got said there, but well, I think what happened there, I think AD read out an email that he said they'd received from them, and they hadn't sent an email or something like that. So he'd lied there, and they didn't like that, which is fair enough. I mean, he were lying about the case, he were lying about Shanann and everything, and not sorry, I'm going to take that back. No, AD wasn't. No, that weren't AD. It was lying about Chris Watts that he'd got contact with him and blah 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 blah, blah and all that, and he hadn't. Anyway, it just drains me just even thinking about. I can't believe that I used to do all that. Never again. I'm done.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Cheryl.
Here's Maureen, missing unsolved crime.
Oh, is that Maureen?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah. Yeah, we blocked the first time Frank came into chat. It was a fake account. Yeah, but didn't he come back in though? I seem to think that were debunked that he came back in, Maureen, as anyway, like I said, it's a long time ago.
So for anyone that's not aware, Maureen was one of Armchair Detective's first main moderators way back. So she's obviously in the know in a lot of regards. She no longer is, obviously, and she moved away from that channel a while ago.
Yeah, because it's just draining. You know, you can only do so much, and he's still here, and still lying and doing what he does, but it just don't bother me anymore now. Yeah. So if anybody's got any questions, I don't know whether I can.
Yeah, I'm going to put the link in chat, guys, here. I should have done this earlier. And this is for anyone that is respectful, right? I want to hear as well from anyone that has any issues, you know, that doesn't agree with anything that's been said on here or on the last live. Because as I said, I want to be fair to both sides, but I can't force people to volunteer. They have to kind of come up, you know. But I've not got a problem with that. Or if anyone else thinks they would like to come up and ask Nuff anything, or myself, then
Yay!
yeah,
Can I before I forget, I'm going to be changing my channel. I've been invested in a little vlogging camera, and I'm going to start. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, my screen's gone dodgy. I'm going to be doing my little journeys. I've lost my van. I'm doing a micro camper. I've got a car that I've turned into a little micro camper. Nice. And I'm going to be doing lots of little journeys and food reviews and fish and chip shop reviews. So if anybody wants to subscribe to my channel, it's not going to be AD. They're going. The AD videos are going. And I'm going to be starting doing that. So if anybody's interested in the on the road lifestyle and what I get up to, me and my dogs and my little journeys, then if somebody wants to put a link in my channel, I'd appreciate that. Oh.
So there's the link to Nuff's channel, guys, in chat. I'm gonna pin the panel link at the top there.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm just saying, you know, that's where I'm heading. Once again, I'm off to Scotland in Rabid. I'm coming for you.
You coming?
Coming to get you. I'm off to Scotland on the 25th September, so hopefully that's going to be the start of my journeys. Nice. I mean, they're not going to be like what you see with all these drones and all that. They'll be very amateur, but there's one thing I can do is make a mess of things, and
People love that. People
it'll
love
be funny.
that. Yeah.
I can guarantee you it'll be funny because every journey I go on, there's some trauma and some blooming mishap. Always, all the time.
um.
So, anyway, are you sure?
Um.
Hey,
Okay. Hey, Shirley. I know of the old bog road. Okay, now you have left a lot of comments under the poll that I did, and I had to remove them because, as I said at the start of this, I'm not interested in any personal attacks on anyone that's been on my panel. If you've got something you want to say, an objection to anything that was actually said on either of these lives, then that's fine, and you're free to come up.
Oh, I can see a comment now, yeah. Oh, well, you weren't there, was you? And of the old bog road. You wasn't there.
Yeah, right, Carrie. Yeah, I mean, we've not even spoken about the super chuffer stuff, right? But just before I say hello to Shirley properly, I just want to, I have to show this. This is Val, okay? Lego head. And this was in regard to AD. Okay, you read that, you know
Oh,
what she's trying to do there, okay? And that is sickening. How anyone can support someone putting shit out like that
I couldn't
is
even-
beyond me.
Oh my god.
Nah, that needs to be held out, held up.
I think that's
That's good.
disgusting what's happening with AD over that. I've got absolutely, I think it's gross what they're doing. Label him as that. That's wrong. And what they're doing to his family is wrong. I've got no involvement in that whatsoever. It's gross.
Yeah, and you have to say something about stuff like that. I mean, even anyone that cannot bear armchair detective, you have to at least acknowledge things like that are being done to him, what that super chuffer
Yeah,
did to him, okay?
wrong.
You have, if you want to have any integrity, you have to call that out. Hey, Shirley, how are you?
I'm good. I only have a few minutes, but I thought, oh, I'll jump on. I have some stuff to say about
Yeah.
this. I wasn't even listening. I'm going to have to go back and listen to a lot of it, but I'm pretty sure that Jenny represented it pretty damn accurately.
You did a great job. You did a great job.
Yeah. So about Anne, I don't even know who that person is or what the fuck they're talking about. But yeah. So Val doing the whole P thing. Well, I don't know if anybody saw, for some reason AD has a problem with me saying that other people believe that he could be that. I do not. Well, actually, I don't know. But the fact is nobody should ever say that about anybody without proof at
No.
all, ever. Going back to why AD was picked, for me, everybody has their own story. That's the thing. You could ask 20 people, you'll get 20 different answers. He was one of the bigger channels. He wasn't just insinuating things. I know everybody likes to use Miss Mensa as an example. I didn't watch her very much, but what I saw of her, yeah, she was making accusations and stuff, but he went further. He faked things. He had an insider at the prison, supposedly. He doctored, he didn't, because he's a fucking imbecile and he can't even write his own name half the time, but he had somebody doctor photos to make it look like somebody with a ponytail was outside the house. It's just horrible. And it's not just what he did with this case. I think everybody saw what he does with other victims. We've got so many examples of what he's done to other families of victims. And it's disgusting. It's deplorable. And he doesn't belong on this platform because he makes money out of sensationalism, and not just like, in the Inquirer magazine, but like I said, lying and false accusations and shoving it down people's throats. And he's tried to dox NK. I mean, he's a danger. He's a danger to people. That's why I personally wanted to go for AD.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing. You and I, Shirley, obviously have a different take on AD, right? But I'm also aware that I wasn't around as much when you guys were. Okay, so I have to respect your guys' opinion on it. And it's pretty clear, even from what I seen back then, that he was being disingenuous.
At the least, I mean, that's the
Aware of,
mildest thing
right?
you could say about him is that he was
Right?
being disingenuous. Um, just in case I have to hop down in the middle of someone else talking, I would just want to say, I know AD obviously watches your lives. Hey, AD, I'm right here. I've been right here the whole time. You want to have a chat? Send me a link. We'll get on a panel. We'll have a fucking chat. You want my address? Send me an email. I'll send you my address. You don't have to have your subs out there trying to scour the internet for information on me. Never hidden where I'm at.
Alaska isn't in Canada either, Alan.
Yeah. So I do just want to say that really quick. He literally said, I'm a pretty good investigator and she's in Canada. She sounds like she's in Canada. And then literally 2 minutes later, oh, she's surely from Alaska. Oh, okay. Well, so you're an idiot. Anyways, send me a link, AD. We'll have a chat. I'm right here. Been here the whole time. So I'm going to go back on mute now because I'm probably going to have to jump off in a minute.
Well, just before you do that, Shirley, do you want to address what he was pointing out in his live?
Yeah, he was upset that or not, I don't even know what word to use. He was making a point of saying how I said on your panel that I do not call him the P word, but he said that I said that I have friends who 100% believe, or no, not believe, that 100% know that he is. Well, first off, that's not what I said. What I said was I know people that 100% believe that he is, and that's their right, I suppose. But I don't think anything like that should ever be talked about publicly. Ever. You should never, there's just certain things you don't put out into the universe unless you have proof. That kind of leads into the Frankie stuff, but that's a different subject. But, and I said, I would never do that to anybody. I would never. Now, do I still think that, he's a skeezy, perverted man? Yes. Like I've also said before, you cannot be a P without being a pervert, but you can be a pervert without being a P. So I will still call him a pervert. He's skeezy. He's slimy. There's all kinds of weird shit about him that, makes you side eye him, but I would never call him the P word. But for some reason that made him mad that I said that some people do. I understand that when I said that, some people may have taken that kind of like with that clip that you just showed of Val's, where it's basically, even though I'm saying this, other people say this, and that's absolutely not what I was saying. So just for the record, I don't agree with anybody even mentioning that word in conjunction with anybody anywhere at any time online without proof. So all I was trying to say is that I do know people, but I didn't want to imply like, well, I know people, so it's okay if you think that. That's not what I was doing at all.
Yeah, and obviously I know you. I know exactly what you were communicating there, right? But if that could be perceived as how he was describing it could be perceived, then that would not be your intention, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, no, that was not my intention. And, I will say, and I think I kind of told you, I think, oh, I'm walking through a hallway and it was echoing. I don't think that that's even how he perceived it. What I think right now is I think that he's fucking desperate. He's talked about Val. He's talked about Tasha. He doesn't have any more people. He needs to be a victim. He needs to have somebody going for him. So why not me? I don't know how my name got drawn out of the friggin' hat, but it did, but whatever. No. So for the record, everybody, I do not think anybody should ever say that word in conjunction with him publicly or about anybody, man, woman, and nothing. They're just certain words you just don't label somebody with unless you have proof. And that's never okay. Doesn't change how I feel about him, though. Not one single bit.
Yeah. And I'm glad you acknowledged that. Because he
know
was probably...
We know how Alan loves to twist shit for his own personal,
Oh, yeah.
factor. So, I mean, that's to be expected. I was a little shocked, girl, when I heard about this, that he had plucked you and started calling you out and you were in a lot. I'm like, what the hell? Where is this coming from?
Oh, well, I was too,
right?
but Apparently, he wants to have a chat with me. He wants my address and my actual name, not some fake name. Well, sure. Okay. And another thing, AD, there's no Z in my YouTube name at all. I don't even know where you got a fucking Z from. It's Cheryl, AK, because AK is the abbreviation for Alaska. Okay. It's really not some cryptic name that I'm hiding behind you.
And her being in
friggin'.
Canada would be a Z, not a Z.
Yeah. So anyways, I'll go on mute and let somebody else talk. Like I said, I'm probably going to have to jump off here again in a minute. Just wanted to get that out and straighten that out, that no, that's not the case. And I did want to say why I was, because, you know, everybody's like, there are so many more worse ones. Well, that's right. But at the time, there really weren't. There weren't that many. And he was the biggest channel and he was making the most outlandish lies. Again, the insider, he pretended like Tammy Lee was in his chat. And then he tries to walk that back like he was just joking. He actually told his people he worked for MI5. And then he tries to walk that back and say, no, it's MFI or whatever, the furniture store. He's just a liar and he's gross and he says horrible things. And I don't think he belongs on the internet. Just my opinion.
Can I just address Mike Hawk? Mike, she didn't call him the P, not the P as in P. I don't want to say the word because she didn't call him that.
No, she didn't. She didn't. No.
No, I didn't. I didn't. And I didn't endorse people saying it. What I said was, I know people that 100% believe that he is that. And that's their right to believe that. And it's not my job to change every person's mind. They want to believe that. Do I agree that it's okay to get on the internet and call somebody that? No, because, and I've said, I've had friends that have been called that on the internet. I do not agree with that at all, ever.
Cheryl, you and I have obviously spoken about this, right? Because I'm in a position, right, where I could easily be claimed to be a hypocrite, right? Because I obviously made a big deal about another creator trying to insinuate certain things about me were true when I'd already addressed it and debunked it, right? And AD has a point in that regard because he called me out a bit on that, right? Now, I understand exactly what you were communicating, okay? But just the fact of saying it publicly, right, can be perceived, especially when he had those accusations recently. That's where he has a point.
Right. Well,
would you agree?
I would agree with that. And that's why I'm here telling everybody if it was misunderstood or I missaid it because until you told me how you took it, it never occurred to me by me saying that it's okay to call him that. I have never said that it's ever okay to do that publicly. It's just not. And if anybody wants to make a big deal about it from this point on, then that's up to them. I'm straightening it out now. I'm explaining what I said and why I said it and what I meant by it. If somebody else wants to misunderstand that, especially the imbecile sitting over there on his channel with an IQ of 12, if he wants to misrepresent it, that's on him. You know, send me a link and we'll discuss it. But anybody in your chat, which I can't really see the chat very well, but that's not what I was saying. Again, not trying to do what Val just did in that screenshot that you're showing. That was not my intention at all.
Yeah, and
no, I think those two things are completely polar opposites. Val was intentionally pulling this double helix of a lie by, lying within the lie that, well, nobody's calling, exactly what she put out. That Val was intentionally and deliberately learning from fucking Val to do that. What Cheryl said, however she said, I don't even know exactly what she said, but however she would have said it was not set with the deliberate intention. Those are the two very
right. But AD is implying that I was basically doing exactly what Val did and was misunderstood about what I said, that I was basically doing what Val did with her screenshot there. And that's absolutely not the case. And I'm telling y'all now, if you have any questions about it, just ask me. So again, for the record, it's never, ever okay any without how it takes money.
You're breaking up a little bit, Cheryl.
I wasn't sure if that was me or her.
Oh, sorry. I was saying it's never okay. Hold on. I got to hide.
Mr.
It's never okay to accuse anyone of anything even remotely close to that. Anything without proof. It's never okay, regardless of how much you hate someone. It's never okay, which is why, as soon as all that happened, a lot of us distanced ourselves completely from that other guy.
Yeah.
And, as far as Lizzie's Facebook, we decided to not even let it in, where we didn't even want to give that fire oxygen because it's gross. It's horrible. Like I said, I've known people online who have been accused of that, and it's so wrong. I do not agree with it.
And it's one of the worst of accusations to make against a guy, right? Everyone knows that. And especially when he was getting these kind of accusations so recently, I think it's understandable that he could be sensitive about it. I have to be honest and say that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I said, it never occurred to me that somebody would misunderstand my intentions of what I was saying until you brought it up. And I'm like, I never even thought about it that way. So you're right. I guess some people could misunderstand it. So here I am, clear, straightening it out. If there's, again, AD, send me a link.
Cheryl, you're owning it, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I still stand by what I said. I just don't stand by the way that people misinterpret it. What I was saying was, I don't control what other people think. That's not my job to do that. Now, I can choose to engage in those conversations, which I choose not to. And I always have, and I always will. I will have nothing to do with people talking about him with that word involved, because that's just not okay.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that. Hello, Genetic.
Again, I just want to say really quick before I go on mute. AD, send me a link. Send me a link. I know you have at least one mod in that Facebook chat. Have her message me. Send me a link. We'll have a chat. You said you wanted to talk to me. Let's do this. Okay, I'm going on mute.
Yeah, AD, Cheryl will take a link. She will do it. She will talk to you if you want to sort it out. Hey, Genetic, hello. I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. How are you?
What's up, Rabies? How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Cheryl, obviously. I mean, I know they're here. They know I'm here, but it's polite to say hi anyways.
So I think you
wait. Sorry. Before I go, YT Kimberly. Yeah, it's perfectly okay for me to say, because I'm talking about, I do know people, because I do. Doesn't mean that what they think is okay. I have friends that have all kinds of opinions about all kinds of things that I don't agree with. What I was saying was, I do know people that believe that. I didn't say that they know it for 100%. That's what he tried to say. That's not true. Nobody knows it because there's no proof. So again, that's all I'm saying. People, that's all I was trying to talk about, was that this whole, everybody in the world isn't just looking at this certain situation and going, nope, no way possible, is all I was saying.
Yeah, and like, I've heard you privately and publicly on my channel calling out and condoning what Super Chuffer did as much as anyone. I've heard you on my panel saying these things, right?
Yeah. And I'm looking at Mike's comment. I need to watch what I say. Well, maybe I should have expanded more on it. I should have explained it better. But no, I stand by everything I've ever said about him. And if I don't, then I will come back. Like in this, I will correct it, or I will explain better. You're right. I should have explained better. But again, that never occurred to me that anybody would interpret it the way that they did until Rabid messaged and said that. So, but yeah, I'm pretty confident in what I say. I'm pretty good with that. Thanks.
Mike, give Cheryl some credit, right? She's not ignoring it. She's addressed it here. She's not ran from the issue.
Running away like a lot of other certain people do when they go and get stuff in the kitchen, get scalding, duck, dodge, dive, run and hide. Cheryl's facing it head on.
All right.
Yeah, and Cassius, nobody, in this camp, as you say, agrees with what B Subchuffer has said. We've all said how wrong it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've all agreed and said how wrong it is. So I don't know why you misconstruing it and saying that Cheryl said that, because she hasn't said it at all.
No, she hasn't. And she's come up here and she's reaffirmed what she was communicating, what she was
I'd like to
intending
know
to
how
say.
Cheryl would be responsible if she does happen to know other people that do happen to feel that way. How is Shirley responsible for that?
Yeah, well, she wouldn't be, obviously.
Yeah, and let's face it, we're all clippers out there, people taking screenshots and screen recordings. If Shirley had said it, it'll be on a video somewhere. All right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, Genetic, I think you mentioned you wanted to explain something in particular. I think it was the copyright thing, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I'm not going to go into a long, I
Yeah.
mean, I've talked about it, Sam and I've talked about it, Salty and I have discussed it since it happened like almost 2 years ago, but I thought I would just quickly sum up what happened. So
Cool.
basically, she took the entire community on a roller coaster ride, and I mean, had I think pretty much every single one of us convinced that he was going to be deplatformed of all of his channels. And at the time, I mean, there being obviously major cultural differences and so forth, I mean, none of us ever bothered to look into what the actual process was that would need to be followed in order to be able to deplatform on the basis of multiple copyright strikes. Well, once it all started kind of bubbling over, the girls had gone on to BAMS. That was Halloween Day, if I recall, in the afternoon. And like Nuff had explained earlier, I mean, there was a lot of things. I mean, I can only speak for myself. Obviously, Nuff was speaking from that personal friendship that those girls had had for a very long time.
Yeah.
Whereas Sam and I had kind of come into it much later after, but there was a lot of things that, you know, I had picked up on that Claire would say that just wasn't adding up, you know, and just kind of put them on the back burner, right? Sort of filed them away, never really thought. But then it was becoming apparent that there was just too much that wasn't making sense. And I think Sam and I, a couple lives, one where I just had a complete breakdown, like, and bawled my friggin' eyes out. But when I finally, the second one we did, I think was about the IPO. Like, I couldn't even speak on the first one. Which is why I find funny that Schaefer and Dehan and company have tried to use this, you know, I'm an angry bully persona against me for all this time. But anyways, when I finally, you know, it all came to head that and came out publicly about Claire not being a lawyer. She had fucking ghosted everybody. It took me about 20 minutes, maybe max, to look into the process. And everything she had told us, everything she had said to the community, jumping from panel to on Nuffs, on Salties, like everywhere, building everybody up that he was going to be deplatformed. She had guaranteed us, you know, she had submitted what she said was the necessary information that YouTube required, right? And we all just believed it was this IPO. IPO is the Intellectual Property Office. Basically, she had combined a court and this Intellectual Property Office into one thing, and essentially told us that, long story short, she happened to magically have a cousin who worked at the Intellectual Property Office and was going to use his powers to be that we're going to expedite a judgment. So Alan wouldn't even be able to defend himself, right? That kind of magical court case where Alan doesn't even have a chance to defend himself and was going to expedite a judgment in the favor of the family. Well, when it comes down to it, that's not at all what the Intellectual Property Office is, nor is it even a court. Nor again does it boil down to how can she get this magical judgment and the defendant isn't even made aware of said court case, let alone allowed to defend himself, kind of thing. So that's why, you know, Salty and I have been, you know, mocking this IPO number, because there was a couple points when the going got tough and we were very, you know, sporadically able to try to pin Claire down. I can remember one instance where she's like, well, what do you want to see? What do you want to see? Because we're like, these strikes are, what's going on? And I said, I want to see the IPO number, right? That, if I can see that, then just might have a little bit of faith in you. Because at that point, there was no faith in me, in her. And she kind of, by the time I got onto a stream with her, I think Armhair was there. I can't remember at this moment if Salty was there. I think she was. Yeah, Salty was there. The first thing, Claire, so we've been trying to nail her down about, you know, the stuff that she said she gave over to YouTube. finally nail her down, and she's got the nerve to sit there and look at us and go, well, what is it you want to see? Like, if I could have reached through my computer and strangled that woman, I probably would have at that moment. What do you mean? What is it you want to see? Like, what the? So I right away fired back. I'm like, I want to see the IPO number. Well, of course, yet excuse number 100 million to infinity. She can't find it. And I'm like, Claire, look in your sent email items, because that's where it would be when you sent it to YouTube. Of course, then she had to take a tablet, her brain hurt. So the bottom line finally became, once I finally took 20 minutes to really look into the process, it didn't even fucking exist in any way, shape, or form that Claire explained to us that it was. And in the grand scheme of all of it, there's a couple instances where both Salty and I, where she was, flipping through the tabs to show things, and it wasn't for very long, but she very briefly pulled up the YouTube studio, and in that studio, she had the copyright section, right? So all the way down was
You still there, Genetic?
Oh no.
We lost you. Oh God, hope you come back on. Oh, you are still there, but we don't hear you.
Yeah, I weren't. I remember, and as she's telling it, I do remember this, but I weren't involved in I wasn't on the StreamYards when they were. I just remember the fallout from it, where Jen would she was just heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken. Just people just can't grasp how heartbreaking it were, honestly. I think a lot with frustration as well, because we've just been lied to so much.
Here's a question, because I know Claire's had a lot of hate, and it's understandable why, and it's easy for me to ask this question, but it's not as easy for a lot of you guys that were hurt by feeling that you were lied to in such a way, someone that you vouched for something that you guys were passionate about, right? But at the end of the day, right, regardless of her lies, and regardless of her under kind of handedness at times, do you think her intentions were good?
Yeah, I do.
And they still may be, right?
I've never. Oh, sorry, my dog's fighting over a chew.
Sorry about that.
I've never called Claire out. I've never called her names. I've never been in that respect. I've just told the story as it is.
Yeah.
But I think it got too big for her. I think the whole thing got too big for her, and I think she knew she were in deep doo-doo, but she couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
And I think when Jen got on a case, it was just too much, and I think that's why she just walked away from it all. That's my opinion. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but yeah, go on. I'll let Jen carry on a story.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where I dropped off. Sorry about that.
No, you're okay. So where did you get to?
She got to the when you discovered that there were no you pulled up the port. She got into that portal part.
Oh, and no, into the YouTube studio. And basically,
yeah,
long story short, all the way down, as big as the screen was all copyright strikes. It wasn't all of them, but as many as that would fill that screen. And on the right was in red, more info. Basically, what that equals is YouTube was awaiting Claire to submit the proper documentation. Again, what that equals is Claire did not submit a single thing for a single one of those strikes. Even though she led this entire community on a roller coaster ride and believed that she had submitted the proper documentation, the IPO number.
Wow.
And yeah, to this day has never said boo, just bolted.
Do you think, because just before you came back up there, Genetic, I was asking Nuff if whether she believes, with all the context of the obvious things that she's done wrong, do you think at heart her intentions were good and she just got way over her head on this whole mess?
I don't know.
What do you think? Do you think it was
You
more
know,
nefarious than that?
it just, to me, I find it, there's so many, I mean, there's so many elements and aspects to it to
Yeah.
consider, but what would possess a complete nobody in the UK to basically exploit this murder victim's family and put herself, it wasn't that she just tried to, you know, snuggle her way in. She tried to interject herself into all of the most important situations that I never would have even thought of. You know, I can still remember somebody asked me not long ago when it became apparent to me that Claire wasn't a lawyer. And I mean, I've known Claire. I mean, I've spoken with her through Facebook for a while. Obviously, I didn't know her for anywhere near the length of time that the girls in their personal friendship did. But I can remember when she came and told Salty, myself, Amber, and then Armhair, who also went to Google with her. It was during COVID, and she had let us know that what their plans were going to be. And it was at that point that was the first she'd ever breathed to me about being a lawyer. And I kind of remember at the time going, again, not thinking anything more of it, right? Hindsight 2020, but thinking, well, I guess I found it just a bit odd, but not odd enough then, that there was never any mention from anywhere, from her own mouth in passing, like not so much even I'm a lawyer, but you know what I mean? Nothing that she ever said in any of the history that I had with her even remotely indicated that she had ever been down that path of a career. So I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I can see I'm getting a lot of pushback in chat for asking the question, right?
Which question? What are you getting?
Which is fair. Which is fair. Well, just me even asking, do you think her intentions at root were
I mean,
good
only
intentions?
she genuinely only knows that, and the fact that she's bolted and run, I mean, I don't think is faring well in her favor.
Yeah.
Can I just address what Raven said? How could her intentions be good when she came in line? Just curious. I'm talking about Raven when we all got chatting as friends. You don't know somebody's lying until they get caught out, right? Because you're friends and you believe them, and I don't think when you I don't think she sat down and plotted to do what she did. I don't think she plotted to pretend to be I think she wanted to be the spearhead of everything and in control of everything, and I think it got too much. That's my belief. I don't, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't, but then you see what happened where, and I like I say, I'm not going to discuss what got said because it's private. But bit by bit, we started to find out certain things, and this was over a period of time. It didn't just happen overnight. It was over a period of time, and you've got to understand that I didn't want to say anything to Cheryl or Susie or Carrie or Ellen, and Ellen didn't want to say it to me and blah, blah, blah. But we'd all got little inclinations of certain things. So we were like we're all keeping it to ourselves until something happened, and then it were hang on. And then me and Helen had a discussion privately, and we both felt really, 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 really bad because we were talking behind the back. It was just awful. And then something else happened, and then it just exploded. And like I said, it were a good 2 months before me and Stand Up went upon BAMS. Because we toyed with idea, what do we do? All these lies, you know, it were like that. So it's difficult when you're friends with someone. You don't think.
Yeah, you want to believe the best in your friends.
Of course you do. You know, of course you do. If we're friends, you know. But that's how I feel. But I think like with Jen were on a case, and I think she crapped herself. I think she thought she could probably get away with it and just say something like, "Oh, they just fell off." But Jen and Sam were on a case, and I think that was the sort of like the absolute, you know, that was it, the beginning of the end.
I agree with Nuff. I think Claire absolutely counted on the fact that she was going to be able to push the blame onto YouTube not following through on the strike.
Yeah.
She counted. She put all her eggs in those baskets and counted on that fact. When
Yeah.
thanks to the likes of Alan and fake ass quack Dr. B, I have a lot of experience with copyright strikes and counter claims and winning them. So all of that experience and knowledge and wisdom I have is from them. So I mean, I knew the crap that she was saying was bullshit. And I mean, with just Sam and I seeing and finally looking into what the actual process right would be in the UK versus the US. I mean, culturally wise, like with for the countries and stuff, everything she said was absolutely invented from her imagination.
Yeah. And you see, we when I say we, you know, our group of girls, we sort of fell for that. We were sort of like a little bit oblivious to all that, what, you know, Jen and Sam were onto. And it was just, you know, it were like we were in a different zone. We were in friend zone, finding out other things zone. Jen and Sam were on that, you know, the crucial, you know, the massive, humongous lie of
the everything not friend zone.
yeah. It was just too different. I mean, we were together anyway, but you know, we sort of like, then we went, oh my god, when we found out what they did, you know, Jen, we had that stream. I can remember, Jen, and you were absolutely, you were heartbroken, weren't you? Because you knew it were just a complete lie, and it was
everything. Everything.
It all just come out there, didn't it? And then we had a StreamYard with some other creators who just said, well, yeah, we've noticed some inconsistencies. We've noticed this and we've noticed this, and yeah, we're not having it. We're not tolerating it. And then 2 days later, they just blocked us all as well. So because they started supporting Claire and saying, yeah, she is a liar. Yeah, she's shown us proof. Nope, she never has. Never.
Again, I wanted to. I know that was stressed that Salty and I have stressed that. For those that haven't seen, you can. Sorry for the shameless plug, Rabid, but there's on my channel in Salty's is the Claire Morgan tape, so you can get a little more insight into the monumental, catastrophic fabrications that, as I said, were all invented in Claire's imagination. But oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. Damn it! It went along with what Nuff was saying.
Sorry, I didn't know that she'd get out Claire Bam's address. I don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware that some people think that Claire has done that. I don't know that.
So, from what I've seen, and I can speak for myself, and I've said this over and over, what Claire did show. So there was 2 instances. I realize now. There was a stream, which is what Sam and I have been going over, but there was another stream where I have explained that when Claire was breaching all confidentiality, ethics, morality, trust, you name it, by what she revealed out of that Cohen Davis client law portal was, so anybody from the outside world externally that contacted Cohen.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I mean, I vaguely, I can't, you know, it's a while. I can't remember. I'm not saying any. I just don't.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, but I know some people do think that. So, I mean, if that's all true, then obviously that speaks for itself, right? That is terrible behavior if that's true.
I vaguely remember something, but I know there was this. I know Claire went into the portal. I wasn't there. I wasn't in on that call. So this is second-hand. It's hearsay as far as from a legal point of view, whatever. But I remember Claire. We found out that she'd opened up this portal, and I mean it's in Sheffield, in England, as you know, data protection. We're really strict with it, and showed Jen or whoever else were in there what information was in there. I can't remember. You'll have to get Jen to tell the rest, but that's basically yeah, she breached all. And this is why I can't understand that the Rzuceks still allowed her to be a part of that, knowing that she'd done that. Sorry, Jen, I was just filling in for you. I would just
No, go ahead. I don't even know where I dropped off. Basically, in a nutshell, what she pulled up was Bam's communication. So that was how I found it, because I'm like, who the hell is that? She left it hovering, and she started giggling. She's like, that's Bam. So her phone number, and then the name. So what all I saw personally was the communication of people that had called in, their phone numbers, their names, or their email addresses if that communication came via email externally. So that I saw when she showed that portal. I never saw any actual physical addresses.
So I hacked into JC's internet so she doesn't give away the storyline, damn it.
Sorry, of course, it's been, well, at least it's working again. Much better than it was for the 6 weeks there, but this is kind of that bubble where I always end up dropping. So my apologies to everybody. I don't like being a yo-yo like this, but trust me, it's better than it was 6 weeks ago. It was non-existent. So that's, so basically she revealed all of the contents of that portal to God knows how many people,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's worrying. Obviously.
And I mean, it should have never been shown to one single individual outside of that circle of who should have had access, being the lawyers. Trusted friend. No, that is, I mean, what fucking lawyer would really do that?
No, you just don't.
You don't need to be a lawyer to know to not do that.
No.
And yeah, I mean, the point I was about to make regarding Claire is that it is possible that she had good intentions at source, but through some serious issues, like mental issues, I guess, she somehow just got caught up in wanting to be this hero for this family.
Yeah, glory hunting. Yeah, definitely.
Right? Because I think that can obviously make people do some pretty crazy stuff, right? If they have all that going on in their head.
Well, if that's going on in the head to begin with, how I mean, not that we'll ever probably know, but if there is, say, mental issues, going on in the head to begin with, how can we know it's genuine to begin with, right? The concern or whatever. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm still obviously processing the whole thing, like talking about it, because I said earlier, the whole thing to me is the fact that it wasn't just myself, Sam, the friendships between the girls. It was them too. I'm not trying to dismiss that, but on a whole, it was an entire community that was kicked in the teeth. It was not only heartbreaking, but it at the same time was like the biggest, strongest punch in the gut that takes your breath away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly.
And on top of that, the family gone. On top of doubling down on the fact that, so after that, I want it to be noted that after Salty and I disclosed the IPO and her absolute failure and complete fabrications of everything to do with those strikes, because again, I do want to say this: if that process of those copyright strikes had properly and actively been followed through, and he was deplatformed from all of his channels, like all of his channels came down, there would have been no need to sell.
No need to what?
I think JC's dropped again.
Oh, she's doing some dropping, that girl.
I just want to go into some of the what Cohen Davis are presenting to Armchair Detective in their letters, demanding that he pay the court costs, and I covered that earlier, which we thought, I mean, if that's in reference to any kind of retainer, I thought that's what was already raised for him. He also wants all money that Armchair has made from Chris Watt's videos. Nowhere in the letters was Armchair Detective asked to get off YouTube. They say that Frankie can't work because of Armchair Detective.
We didn't work before.
Right. He did an interview with the FBI at the time of the case and admitted to having depression starting about 2013 when Bella was born.
Yeah.
And when it's all added up, it comes to about 100,000 that he's hoping to get from some out of court settlement. They've accused Armchair of defamation by suggesting that he has a criminal record. He does have a criminal record. They've now been sent that, from what I gather. Genetic is back. Hey,
Yeah.
you back?
Yeah, for now, until I drop again. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all.
Right. Third time lucky.
What's that?
Third time lucky.
Yeah, or yeah, 3 times the charm. Again, I apologize. I don't know where I dropped off there.
I think you were, just describing basically what I've said earlier about how it affected us. The backlash and the punching,
The betrayal.
the betrayal, and
Well, yeah.
also how if don't forget, Jen, how there was a part of the community that all supported Claire just thought we were just called us. I mean, I got death threats and right load of crap from that.
I became an angry bully.
Yeah, that's right. Bullies and all that, and wow, it would just, yeah.
Well, it seemed to be, and I mean, I think that's what's very obvious now is that anybody that spoke up in any way that's not positive would be privy to having, certain people come after them in the most horrible of ways, unexcusable ways.
And yeah, see, that's the heart of this problem, right? The way that they have treated so many people who sincerely were trying to help these victims.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point of these lives is whether it's okay to criticize people that behave like that when they happen to be related to murdered victims, right? And I think the answer is obviously yes. But as I said at the start of this, and no one's come in that wants to come up and argue against anything that's been said. I'll put the link in again, actually. Because there's a massive, massive problem just in general of people turning victimhood or virtue into equity. And it's the easiest thing in the world to do, right? You don't have to do hard work. You just receive sympathy. And some people will treat family members of victims like many celebrities, when it's a high-profile court case. And I think they have used that and manipulated people as a result.
To me,
And
that's kind of morbid, though. They're not celebrities.
well,
my personal.
they're not celebrities to me, but some people treat them like celebrities.
Oh, absolutely. But to me, that's a really morbid way of looking at it, I believe.
It is. Becky says, lots of people have suffered tragedies, myself included. I don't use it to have no accountability, right?
And that's just it. That's, I mean, there's so many things that have gone wrong here, but the absolute lack of any accountability, right? And that goes even beyond the crowd justice. The likes of Martin Dehan, Helen Schaefer, and Val Scissorhands, Lies Be Told, Cartoon Loon Tasha, all of them. The lack of accountability, which veracity, and then also obviously integrity is absolutely astounding. They just selectively turn a blind eye to the debaucherous behavior, of certain people, and just wave a white flag for Frankie. But the lack of transparency when it comes to the crowd justice, the accountability there. I mean, neither one. AD's hands aren't clean. He's got the dirt hands out of the two of them. But at this stage of the game, it's not a game, but just I'm using that statement, as an analogy. At this stage, Frankie's hands are not clean either. So I mean, how the hell can you? sue somebody when, you know, one of the doctrines in the US, right, is you have to have clean hands yourself to take somebody to court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to go nowhere, right? I think people are kind of realizing that. I know some people think that he owes 20,000 apparently in legal fees, and there's claims of double dipping being attempted when people refer to some of the communication from Cohen Davis.
Well, I
But
mean, it's obviously, I mean, it's stalled for a while. I mean, it had a little bit of a bump there. What was that, a few months back with the update? But he's still not even close. I mean, I think really, if to see this through to the end, their best bet is probably, you know, why don't they put in some of their own money to finish it off and see it through? I think they've taken enough from the public. They don't want to answer any questions. They don't want to be transparent. You know, they just expect a community they've kicked in the teeth already to just keep giving and giving. And I think that's really deplorable.
And they expect the community to believe that
everything's going swimmingly.
Right?
It's all going
everything going swimmingly, and that anyone that says anything inconvenient are just evil trolls.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. You know, that's another 200, you know, Frankie, at many points, you know, through all of this, you know, also, right, which is where BAM, I think, comes into this as well. People that have spoken up, and again, like I said, if you say anything that is not at all positive, you know, you're going to be sued. You're a hater. It's defamation. It's slander, you know. Those kind of words have just been so overused by the people over there that they've lost all actual meaning to them. They really have.
Yeah, it's been an absolute failure. They have failed in the end, and I think the fact that enough people are talking about it now and it's being exposed, this is the result of all that manipulative behavior that was going on all that time. It's come to this.
Well, it's certainly far from the moral crusade. It's this, we don't want money. You know, this isn't about money. And I think I got cut off, or not cut off. My internet cut me off. So this didn't come out. I mean, I'd like to, again, I want to just point out, had Claire or anybody actually actively and properly followed through with the entire copyright strike process after those strikes were laid and actually followed through, and Alan had been deplatformed, there would have been zero need to solicit £75,000 from the public to.
Oh, well, I lost you again.
What are we going to say? Why couldn't, like, I don't know whether you follow Noodle Mash. I followed it for a bit when she took
oh yeah,
to court. Now she got a cease and desist, and it worked. Whether it's because it was Mrs. P or not, why? I'm asking. This is just a genuine question. Why couldn't they have gone for that down that route? Do you think? You know why?
I just presumed that a cease and desist would have been sent at some point. Was it not?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, I got one. I got one off AD, but I mean, it didn't work.
Surely got one.
But, you know, Cheryl got one. Jen got one. Grim Reaper got one.
Some, do you know why? Enough? Because some people may actually consider the thought that he doesn't really care about him not being on YouTube, right? It's the fact that he was making a lot of money back then. I think that was probably the, you know.
I don't think, right, I think people, I've seen a couple of comments in chat. I don't think nobody's saying not to talk about the case or anything like that, or make money, because people do. That's true crime. That's what YouTube's for, is to make money. Right? Okay. It wasn't that. It's the lies. It's the lying to make the money. That's what the problem was. You know. Anyway, you know, we can go around in circles over it, but I think Jen's give up.
Yeah, sorry, Jen.
Let's come up then.
Sorry,
I mean, there's all these commenters in chat. Come on.
Yeah, and
You know?
Genetic, thanks so much for coming up and giving us that information.
Yeah, she obviously she were the.
And she's back.
There we go. I'm mute.
Well, I was just going to say, I agree with you. If once I drop again, that's it. I give up. But it's been the lies, you know. Sandy and Frankie have run around claiming that, you know, he doesn't have any type of criminal background whatsoever. And you've got some creators here splitting hairs about whether Frankie was charged with this or charged with that. At the end of the fucking day, there's at least, and, you know, Salty and I went over this about a year ago. There's at least, and that's as far as I've ever looked into it, because the bottom line is it's the principle. You know, when you're running around claiming that you don't have a criminal record, you've never been in any type of criminal trouble in your life, you're lying. You know, when there's obviously on the North Carolina Department of Corrections website, as I said, I don't know what else. There may be more to that record. I don't care. One instance is enough that says that means you have a criminal record for contributing. There's a conviction for one or two, minimally one conviction for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The sentence probation. That means you have a criminal record. So the lying about that, there's just, the whole Claire nonsense. You know, after Salty and I had come forward and told the world that Claire lied about every aspect of the copyright strikes, they came out. One of them put up a community post saying that Cohen Davis verified that Claire Morgan was a lawyer, when we know that's totally not fucking true at all.
Yeah, and it was Bam that had up Jen, Shirley, and Carrie, and Helen, Susie. You know, that really exposed that about Claire, right?
With the girls, they went up on BAM's initially first, which was Halloween 2 years ago now. It'll be 2 years it's Halloween.
And the fact that, I mean, okay, if they have decided, you know what, because they do obviously know that Claire was lying to everyone on YouTube, right? But if they have the reasons to still have her as part of this whole crusade, she's not acting as a lawyer, that's fine. She's like being this go-between, that's all fine. But the way that they so arrogantly are dismissing all you guys, right, that were lied to by this person, and called, just kind of minimized as being haters and trolls. That's why a lot of you guys are so angry, right? That's how I'm perceiving it. It's not
disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting behavior.
Yeah, it's not all aimed at Claire, obviously, right? It's kind of, she's kind of by proxy in a way. You know, it's the fact that they're just dismissing you guys, the family are. And you're the guys that were there trying to give them the help that they were asking for. You know,
well,
and people need to remember that.
Part of it for me makes it, you know, hard to feel sorry for them. You know, I mean, we don't know exactly what Claire had said to them, you know, if Claire even still talks to them. I mean, we don't know anything about that. But the fact that they just so adamantly, you know, consistently and adamantly, you know, claim that Claire, you know, don't say bad things about my, you know, my friend Claire Morgan. She is a solicitor. I mean, this was all well after it was out there that she wasn't, long after. And then when it's, I mean, you can't keep the lid on it anymore, and it's definitely blown wide open, to just go into complete silence. And because that's what I think has been a lot of the issue, and this is what is changing now, is that when anything of any
Oh dear.
She's gone again. And that, and what you were going to say, more or less what I said earlier.
Yeah.
The total silence, the crickets, it's that. And
yeah. That dismissiveness.
It starts the ball rolling and people asking questions, you know, why?
Yeah.
Well, they were just simple questions like, what's happened? What, you know, why is it all gone quiet? What's happening to fund? Why is you know, because they were given a countdown. All the subscribers and people who, you know, had spent money and time had all been given a countdown, and it were, you know, TikTok is going to be gone, you know, whether, you know, you like it or not. It were focused on AD, and you know, he'd done some dirty dealings, and he were going to get done. He were going to be out for it, And everybody were really excited about that, I've got to say, and it didn't happen, and there were no explanation, and basically that's it. It was just
This is the culmination of it, and they deserve it. I have to say it. They deserve it.
It's like saying, well, if we all keep quiet, everybody will shut up.
Right.
I mean, that's just so much disrespect. That it's like saying we're all like imbeciles, and we can all, you know, put cap in hand and say, oh, okay, we'll not say anything, you know, screw us cap and just sit there quietly. Well, that's how I think. Well, I'm not saying they think that's how we're gonna go, but because people are asking questions, then we're all evil trolls and nasty and horrible and we're, you know, we're picking on them and bullying them and harassing them because we've asked questions.
That's no worries, Genetic. Thanks again. Yeah, they are not special.
No.
They need to understand how many people that are amongst those that were trying to help them, those that are criticizing them, have all gone through tragedies in life.
Yeah.
It's not measured by comparison. It's all, everyone's tragedy is the end of the universe to them, relatively speaking. You know, we all we're in true crime. We see it all the time, right? This is just a horrible part of life. There will be people in this chat that view this live back that have had family members murdered.
Yeah.
They are not special. They're just normal people, and they have lost the respect of people, and that's their own doing.
Yeah, I could never get me. You know, you said that about they thought they were like people treated them like they were some sort of celebrities. I could never get my head around that. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was doing my live and Frankie pop in, it were nice to see him because, and it was nice for my chat because they donated to the fund and they were part of it, and it were nice. You know, they really did appreciate that. I mean, he only popped in a couple of times, but they sort of, you know, flocked around him. And this is why I could never understand why he didn't progress his channel, because he would have made it good because they saw him as some sort of celebrity.
What is their legacy going to be at the end of all this? What have they done to help anyone?
That's a troll channel there. When we get that Lizzie Taylor, I believe it's not Lizzie.
Oh, hold on.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Let me find it. Has someone got that? Someone's got that. Oh no, they've not.
Oh, that's not.
Is that? That's not Lizzie, no?
No. I don't believe so. I can't tell on it. You can't go on StreamYards, can you?
It may be. Maybe. We'll see.
Is it Lizzie? It's not. She don't. She ain't got that. She's got. It's Heidi Ho. Lizzie's channel's Heidi Ho.
I think she's got another one under her.
Oh well, I do apologise, Lizzie, if it is you, my lovely. I'm so sorry. I just think there's only one goal when they're coming on a troll channel, then they're coming in to cause trouble. So hang on, here we go.
Okay, I'm just gonna put up this screen now because someone's. Oh, Night Owl, I recognise your name. So.
Oh, is it a private channel? Oh, sorry. I do apologise, Lizzie.
Hey, Night Owl, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, am I clear?
Yep, you hear? We can hear you.
Oh, I can. I'm sorry, it's my first time being on panel. I've never sort of been up before.
Oh, no way. You know your camera's on, yeah? Night Owl, we can see your camera is on.
Oh, what? Is it? What can you see?
I think we just see the wall or the ceiling, so you're fine.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't know. turn it off. Sorry.
You're quite quiet though.
Oh, sorry, I'm on my phone. Is that any better?
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I just want to just come on panel and just sort of explain my experience of
Yeah.
obviously this, I haven't got anything much to say. It was just I've been a sub for BAM for about, I think, about a good part of over a year and a half, and I just and I have sort of been in AD's channel, and I've been sort of like looking around just so establish a form of opinion. It was just I just feel so. I just want to just say that I feel so sorry for some of BAM's subs. It's like I think it was Wiccan, YouTube Lady, Cassius, and some of the
Yeah.
I think there's Witch as well, and some of the other people that have actively played a part in sort of like supporting Frankie, supporting the Rzuceks, supporting the cause, and they've just literally just been shit on. They've raised money, they've done fundraisers, they've you know, post made jewellery, spent their own money, their own time, own effort doing something they thought was like a just cause, and
Mhm.
they've just got nothing back, and they've just got abuse. And I'm only sort of like saying from an outsider's perspective,
Yeah.
it just seems so wrong, and I just so many people need their money back, and a lot of people are feeling like they've been dumped on, they've been used,
Mhm.
and just rejected. And I don't know all the technicalities, so I can't claim to know everything that's going on, but just with what I've been
You've
listening
seen
to, and
enough, right? You've seen
yeah,
enough of what's going on.
and it breaks my heart when you see. I think it's YouTube lady had to bury her own daughter, and all she wants is her money back, and it's just one of the other things. And then to hear Bam being harassed. I mean, she was doing a live stream when somebody actually entered their premises, and they actually pulled down the camera or the security camera while she was actually live on air. And
My
it's so
God.
disturbing that these people can come into your real life and
Mhm.
do these sorts of things. And so I'm a full supporter of Bam, and obviously I listen to Kiss and
Yeah.
obviously Wiccan and that, and it's becoming so real now that these people have access to absolutely everything. And I mean, I work my back, not so much my background. I work up in London. I work for social services, and my brothers are in the police and the forces, and they can't even believe what's going on. It's
It's
just
crazy.
unbelievable, and
I know.
it is. And people just want to get their money, back, and they want to move on. They've, the Rzuceks have taken so much time, so much effort from everybody. People just want to get back to it. Like Bam always said, give their supporters their money back, and they will move on.
Mm.
That'll be it. She won't have to mention them anymore, and people can just move on with their lives. And I mean, Bam's brilliant at doing true crime. So is Kiss. And she does her supernatural thing, and it just seems that they're it's like everything just seems to be so predominantly about them. And I
Mm.
mean, Bam was doing Peter Sutcliffe, she was doing Jack the Ripper,
Yeah.
um, and Coburger. We were listening to books. She was reading books. We were interacting with her, and it was
Mhm.
really, really good. And it's just, I don't know, just everything seems to change. And it's when I think of Frankie and what they've been through. Yes, I know it was a tragedy, and what happened was absolutely dreadful, and nobody can deny that it wasn't. But people need to get their money back. They need to get the goods they paid for. I think we also need to. I know they keep saying about receipts, but we do need receipts. We want to know where this crowd justice money's gone to. A
Mhm.
breakdown of payment is what we need, so we can sort of
Mhm.
like put to bed that, because people can't move on. And I don't know about anybody else. And the whole is it Claire Morgan? She
Yeah.
accessed the portal, and that is so concerning. That is so concerning. That people actually have access to people's personal details, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
And
just want to just put my 2 pennies worth in.
I think I mean, you're very level-headed, right? And
Yeah,
you've observed all this,
yeah.
right?
I
And you're
mean,
giving your honest
there is
opinion
a
on
lot
it.
of there's a lot of things that happen to Bam, and
Yeah.
people take the piss out of her grandson. I mean, obviously I have kids myself, and
Yeah.
my sister has children, and I couldn't imagine how she would feel somebody taking the mick out of his name,
Yeah.
mannerisms, and then going after their mother. And I just think it's so unnecessary. I mean, we're all adults here. We're all supposed to be supporting a certain cause, and yeah, we're going real life on people, and it is victimization and it's
Mhm.
targeted abuse is what it is. I mean, the way they went after AD, started doxing him, and then taking it that step further by having people being absolutely disgusting. I said my brother's an inspector of the forces, and he just said what he witnessed of the abuse that was going on with it Scarlett. He said that it was terrible. I mean,
Mm.
absolutely terrible. And he was actually listening to the live streams as well because
Okay.
he listens at work, and he
Yeah.
works up in London. And my other brother, he works down at the docks. Uh, he was in the Marines, and but
Mhm.
now he left because he did have PTSD, and now he trains drug police dogs. And we do listen. I mean, even if he doesn't comment, he does. They do actively listen.
Yeah.
But I just wish that everybody would just move on now. It's getting old. It's getting tired. Whether or not they take ages to court, I don't know. But we definitely need our receipts. We definitely need to know exactly who, what, why, when, where this money's gone. Did it go to Crowd Justice? From Crowd Justice, did it go to Cohen Davis? What did they spend it on? We need a
Mm.
breakdown of payments.
Mm.
That's all I say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as I said, yeah. that's
No, no,
that's what
yeah,
I
you're
wanted to
spot
say.
on. Spot
Yeah,
on. I mean,
yeah,
people are not even people that are asking for refunds. They're not even giving them the grace of even listening and
no,
telling them why they're not entitled to refunds. They're not even getting that.
no. I did actually leave a message, and I was called evil, and I think I was told to go to hell because I had actually donated money, and my partner at the time,
Wow.
or husband, should I say, £200, and I was told to go to hell. I wasn't given an explanation, and I mean, I wouldn't say I need the money, but it would have been nice to have known. And if I'd got the money
Mhm.
back, I would have given it to put the money into Bam's PayPal because
Yeah.
I know she's a good cause and she really is a good egg. And the likes
Mhm.
of is it Val that slag her off to high heaven and have all these videos distorting her voice and taking the piss out of her. I mean, Bam's never made any sort of delusions that yeah, she does have a mouth, she does use certain expletives that maybe you or I wouldn't use, but she's direct, she's honest, she's to the point,
Right?
she's
Yeah.
straight and as an arrow, and she
Yeah.
doesn't take bullshit. She's going to
She,
say
yeah.
what it is, and
I
that's
respect
what I
that.
admire about her
I
because you
respect
know where
that.
you are with her.
Can't tell you
Yeah,
how much I respect that. I
yeah,
really
and
do.
she will. You cross her, God help you. But I
Right?
mean, if you show loyalty to her, loyalty to what she's doing, positively interact with her, then she's. I'm not saying she's your best friend, but she will move heaven and earth
Mhm.
for you, and she will do
Yeah.
that. But don't cross her. But that's
Mhm.
why I like her because you know where you stand with her. You really know, and
Yeah.
she's transparent as well, which
Yeah.
is refreshing.
She's fighting her corner. She's seeing what's
Exactly. Yeah.
happened to her, obviously, which is terrible by the sounds
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Frankie's coming after her apparently after AD, but
Yeah. I heard that. Yeah.
she's also seeing what's happening to people in her channel, like Sheila and
Yeah.
Darzan, Wickenman.
Yeah.
Some of
Duh.
the guys in here,
And it's these
and
homophobic slurs that have been made against Star, I think it was, and
right.
genetic Jen, I think, using certain words, and also you know what the undertone of that is, and I think it's just so unnecessary. We're becoming like children now. It's like point scoring, and as I said,
Mhm.
I don't watch Val. I see her coming up sometimes on my feed, and again, I think she's just an attention seeker. She's thriving off attention, and to be honest, when this is all finished, what has she got? She's got nothing left. She's got a salon. She does her hairdressing, which is all fair play to her. You can't take that away from her, but she has nothing left, and it's all consuming. Whereas Bam, she has other things, and like Kiss, she has other things to do. She's got her
Mhm.
dogs and her like supernatural things and ghosties and all that, which we all enjoy. And like genetics, she's got hers. So when this is all finished, what has she got? And it's like, I mean, and it's not just her; it's other creators as well. They make their life. It's like it revolves around this. And take this out of the equation. Once it's finished, what have they got left with? And it's just no. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I'm sure there's other people that want to come up on panel, but
Yeah, maybe,
I just
maybe.
wanted to say that. I just wanted to just get my two pennies worth in.
Well, thank you so much, Niall. I appreciate that, and I think a lot of people
Yeah,
relate to what you're saying. So thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. You've got some good eggs in there, and as I said,
Oh yeah, I do.
it's
I
nice
do.
and it's a comfortable. Coming to this channel is very comfortable. and you feel
Yeah,
welcomed. You don't feel like you've got to I don't know, suddenly put your hand in your pocket, or I mean, yeah, if you want to, but it's a nice environment, and
yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah,
but
I don't think anyone feels like they have to walk on eggshells either, which is cool, you
no,
know.
no, and you can sort of say what you want, and you give that platform where you're amenable and you're very
Uh-huh.
approachable, which makes, and so is Sam as well. I mean, I've
You
never been up on that panel before, but
mm-hmm.
you are approachable. So anyway, that's all I want to say. And
Well,
just to ask everybody, I've got a channel. I'm Night Owl, and I'm
mm-hmm.
showcasing my bunny rabbits. I'm on 24 subscribers, thanks to Bam and everyone else. So if anybody could
Okay,
subscribe,
well,
I've got
what's your
plenty of
channel
videos
name?
going.
What's your
It's
channel
called
name?
Night Owl. It's
Okay,
Night Owl, and it's got a picture of a rabbit on the front. So
okay. I'll try and find it for you, and I'll put it in chat.
thank you so much. And they said it's all kid friendly. There's no swearing or vulgarity. It's no nudity or any sexual references or anything like that. It's just purely just me talking to my rabbits, and that's it. Thank you.
Awesome,
Thank you very much.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you
what
so
do I
much
do
for coming
now?
up.
So
Well,
I've got mic, cam, chat
I
on the
can
front. So
I can take you off from here. I can take you off from here. It's
all
fine.
right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. We'll see you in chat. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye. Wow, that was interesting. She was very level-headed.
I've got to be honest, I could hardly hear it. It was crackling and I couldn't really tell what she was saying. So
Yeah.
it was very quiet because you're quiet to me and something wrong with my.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I could hardly hear her. So I can't actually comment.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she was. Yeah, I mean, she was just echoing some of the sentiments, you know, that we've been speaking about in regards to how people are being treated, what Bam's gone through, some of Bam's people, and she was speaking about this Val person, who to me, she's just an idiot, right? But the fact, this is who you're supporting, Rzuceks, someone that through whatever reason is capable of putting up something as slimy as this on screen.
Hang on. Wait a minute. I've just come out of there for a second. I was just going in chat. I was just going to, hiya Sandy Blue. Sorry, love. I was just going to say about it. Right, hang on. Alan, having no proof of court appearance in the rest no smoke does not mean you're not a pay. You could mean you. Oh, God, it's just great. Yeah. You know, I think Val did a video a couple of weeks ago that I did watch. And do you know what? I think it's best that she's ever done. It was really factual. But then she goes on things like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Val's been, she were horrible to me. And I to her as well. We just don't see eye to eye. I have no intentions of ever seeing eye to eye with that woman. But she's joined in the bandwagon with and it's pretty obvious. I've got to say this as well. It's pretty obvious who's been in Super Chuffer's ear. Pretty obvious.
Right. Yeah.
The things that he comes out with are the views and opinions of Val, Martin, and Helen.
Right.
Absolutely. And he's just, he's obviously seen a way to make money because he's profiteering from it, which is it's up to him, whatever. But he's only listened to that, and he all us lot are crazy idiot trolls. We're all haters. We're all stupid, and all of that. Yeah, because he's been fed the shite from that lot.
Everyone knows it's coming from that direction, and that's who they're supporting.
Yeah.
I mean, this Martin Deehan is the worst of the worst on here. There is nothing that he will not do in order to aid his cause. I've been at the other end of that from him years ago. I know personally that he will lie and lie like this is some goddamn game on here. But he's involved with the Rzuceks,
Yep. Now, what image is that portraying? You know,
Right.
it is all that what they did on that crowdfunding was disgusting. To ridicule them people who had donated to that fund, to ridicule them like that on that crowd, because it were them. It were him and his little sidekick Ellen, who thinks she's queen of fucking YouTube. Yes, you are fucking listening. I've never said out bad about you, Ellen, but you need to knock it off. Sorry for swearing a bit.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Swear
Just
on here all the
make
time
me-
if you want.
It makes me angry how
Yeah.
they are. They're all there in the little cesspit, and then it's all like, oh, poor Rzuceks, this, poor that. Leave them alone. Leave them. Yeah, right. What about everybody else who's donated? Leave them alone. Stop harassing them and bullying them, because that's what you're doing. What you've done to Sheila is disgusting, Martin Dean. Disgusting.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said I weren't going to get mad. I'm going to shut my gob.
You're fine. You're fine. Nothing. You've been fine.
It just, I promised Cheryl earlier that I won't it. But when you mention them names, it just boils me piss, because I don't say out anywhere. I keep my trap shut. I don't comment on them anyway, but I just, yeah.
Well said. That was a mic drop.
Yeah, I know. I just, I mean, we go back. This, this thing, what they've got, what annoys me, that we are, under Martin. Martin tells us what to do. We're all part of this. I mean, that's coming from AD, I know. But to think that people think that I have anything to do with Martin Dean makes my piss boil. And since he's chatted up with her, it's just, who do they think they are, really? Just because they were friendly with Rzuceks doesn't give them carte blanche to go and abuse people, passively abuse people, because that's what they do.
Yep.
And then everybody thinks they're all goody two-shoes. Oh, hail Martin. Oh, hail Helen. Fuck off.
Yeah, just because you speak in a baby voice or a childlike voice, or you look like a cartoon, or you present as all sweet.
God, don't get me on with her.
Right.
Jesus, talk about suck Martin's dick every day. Bloody hell.
Hey, Alma, Rabid, I've never spoken ill of you because it's none of my business to.
All
Cool.
right, that's a bit random.
Did I miss something earlier? I don't know.
I don't know. I send gift cards because I want to, and I don't expect. Oh, gift cards. She's a gift card.
I'll be honest, Alma, I didn't like what happened with how you spoke to Casbat. I didn't like that. But I'm being honest with you.
Is that something else?
Yeah, she'll know what I'm talking about.
Is that from your other community? I've never seen it before. I don't know who you are, Alma, but I think we're on a different topic, aren't we? Are we on a different topic?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, Alma is always in trouble. Oh, is Alma
I'm not fighting with you either, Alma. I'm not. I've not got a problem with you, but I had a problem with that.
See, this is what happens when you start, brings this,
Sandy Blue, why do we think Marty and Helen have disappeared? Well, Martin Dehan's gone back to Norway to answer to him being pursued by Darzan. And I wish Darzan all the luck.
What's that?
I wish him all the best.
Don't know any of that. Don't know what that is. What's that? I know top 10, but
they've been attacking Darzan and Sheila. It's all wrapped up in the same motivations.
I know about Sheila.
Yeah. Similar stuff to what happened with Sheila.
Yeah. That's no. See, I don't really know Darno. Sheila's been a supporter of my channel since I started. Right,
Mhm.
right, 3 years ago. So you get a little bit protective about your subscribers, don't
You
you?
do. You do. Nothing wrong with that.
Become friends,
I got called out by Her Majesty, Mummy Ramblings, because I shared one of Sheila's videos. She called me a victim basher for sharing that video. That was
Really?
that was rather comical. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my days, honestly.
I love me some Martin Dehan. The worst thing that ever happened for Martin Dehan was Helen, for some reason, putting images of him up on YouTube. That
I
guy
mean,
looks lost.
well, you know what? I had to laugh. I was sent a clip of Helen actually saying we were jealous of her relationship with Martin. Helen, seriously, love, seriously. I'm sorry, but
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to worry about jealousy there.
I'm not going to come and pinch him. Don't worry about that. Got me own. Thank you very much. And you don't look like that.
I can't find your channel, Night Owl. I'm struggling to find it.
I think Carrie's put it in.
Did Carrie put it in?
Well, she's saying thank you. Yeah, Carrie's put it.
Oh,
Carrie
thanks,
is
Carrie.
absolutely. She's our link queen. You do know that, don't you?
She is. She is on it.
Yeah, absolutely. She's straight in with links. As soon as somebody comes in, she's put Maureen's in. She's put everybody's who's got a channel. She puts in.
If you can put Nuff Nuff's channel back in, Carrie, as well, I would appreciate that so much as well. If you
Yeah,
can, that'd be awesome.
if you're gonna like things what I'm gonna be doing, I'll tell you. Yeah, because it's just it's just gonna be daft, silly stuff. But I'm really I've left my videos up for a bit because I still feel that they might be important for anybody who still wants to call him out. Because I'm still, I'm just not doing any on him.
Yeah.
But they're still there. When I see something and I think, well, if they want to clip it, they're welcome to clip my work. But they are going to be coming down, all of them. So probably.
Look at that, Carrie. That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, Carrie. Yeah, she's wonderful. Yeah. So we're going to have a bit of fun. I'm going to start doing my lives again. I enjoy it because you've sniped my live tonight. You do know that, Rabid, don't you?
No.
Yeah, you sniped the live.
No.
I was going to be live at 9 o'clock tonight.
Oh,
I told them all last week.
Oh no.
I'm going to go Saturday Night Live at 9 o'clock.
Well,
but this is more pressing. No, it is. It's important.
I'm in the doghouse now.
Yeah. But I know these ladies and gents. I think we've got Cassius. I think they deserve it. And no, that's fine. I can do it next week. But what I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to Scotland. Tell her I'm coming for you. I'm going to Scotland on 25th. I'm off for 2 weeks, and I'm hopefully gonna do a live while I'm in Scotland.
Oh, awesome!
Hopefully, from a beach. I'm going to get myself a little campfire going, and I'm going to get on a beach and do a little live from there.
Wow.
Hopefully. So if anybody's interested in that sort of stuff, that's where my channel's going. So
yeah, go and check out Nuff Nuff's channel. She did a live there. I think it was a week ago. I caught the end of it. I listened back to it. They're having a great time on there. It's great to hear you back on.
We had a good night, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on that. There's going to be no talk of the Rzuceks, no talk of anybody. We're just going to have a laugh. We're going to have some quizzes. We're going to go back to his old days when we used to have fighting in chat with handbags, giving out inches. We're going to have a competition to name my channel because I want to do something different. Not a competition.
Oh, cool. Cool.
not monetary competition, but I've some chats and suggestions, and I also want to be everybody who's there to be part of the channel. Like where I'm going to go next, where should I go next, where do you want me to go? Like Kiss said once, will you go to not Burrenwich? Sorry, not Burrenwich. The Wood Plumpton Witch. Because I'm in a certain area, I'm going to tell him where I'm going. I'm going to say, right, where does anybody want me to go anywhere? And get that sort of involvement. That's where I want my channel to go. So
good stuff.
Yeah, we won inches for that. Yeah, you were fighting bad for them knob inches, weren't you, girls? We did have a laugh though. Yeah, so we're going to go back to that. Yeah.
There's Cassius's channel as well. Check out that channel. Cassius is great.
Cassius does some good little videos. There's Sheila's channel as well.
Sheila's got a great channel. Sheila's done some great stuff lately.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, I do watch Sheila, I must admit, because they're short little shorts, aren't they? So yeah, I do like nipping into I just don't catch Bam's lives. I'll know she's gone live because I said anybody catch Bam last night, and I didn't, because I'm either asleep or I'm at work, or I'm travelling and I don't got internet. So, and then she don't keep them up, so I don't get to see them. But I'll pop in, and I pop in on yours. If I catch kisses, I'll pop in kisses. But I don't. That's it. I just pop in and pop back out. I'll tell you what is interesting at the moment. I'll tell you what is interesting at the moment. I don't know whether you watch it, but they were out on last night, and I watched Sally Ann and CJ go.
Oh God.
Oh
yeah.
Oh grief. They were actually talking about who has a shower more than, like, who baths more and who washes more. Seriously though.
There was one, was it last week, where Country Joe was streaming someone else. Who was it again? Someone I'm not too aware of, and they were streaming them back.
TT.
That was it. Yeah, Truth Teller.
Listen, Carrie, can you put Truth Tellers? Not Truth Teller. Sorry, it's not TT. It's not. It is Truth Teller. She is a blast. That woman. She's brilliant. Yeah, that was so funny, wasn't it? She was streaming it. And then
yeah. But I've got to be honest. I think Country Joe was getting the best of it. She cracks me up, I have to admit.
I can't with that woman. I really can't. But I'm sort of. Do you know what? Sally Ann, I think she's done really well. She's come off drink. She beats you with heavy drinkers. She's always drunk. Wait, as you know.
Dana! My God, it's Dana a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh, I've not seen you for a while. Sorry, Jenny. It's just someone came in there that I've not seen for a while.
Oh no, it's all right. No, go ahead, Rob.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So it was Truth Teller, right? That was streaming.
No, it's not Truth Teller. That's
Is it not?
No, because that's crafting. It's not Truth Teller. Is it Table Talk? No, that's somebody else.
Someone help us out here.
Oh, Carrie, I don't know. Carrie, with respect, I put it in chat other night. We were both there on a live. Oh God, she's brilliant. She's really, really good. Yeah, I'm just going to say about Sally Ann, she, as you know, I mean, if you remember a while back, she were doing a lot of drunk lives because we were having we were having a discussion about it, drinking. And but she's come off it, and she's doing really well. She looks really good, and I'm sort of growing. She's growing on me a little bit.
Not for me. Not for me, Jenny. I'm sorry.
No. Well, each to their own, isn't it? I mean, I don't.
We can't all like the same people, right? It'd be boring if we all like the same people.
Oh, cracky! Can you imagine me going into your neck of woods? Blow me neck! It's slaughterous round there. So anyway, we've digressed. I'm sorry, I didn't want to snap your.
I love digressions. Don't worry.
So if anybody else want to come up, I can drop off if somebody wants to come up and have Rabid all to themselves. I've had him all night, so I don't mind sharing.
Here's Kelly.
Hi.
Hello.
Do you want me to drop off, Kelly?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're fine. You're fine.
No, I'm happy to see you. I just wanted to come up and say hi again, and I guess hearing everybody's stuff, it's just heartbreaking to know that human beings are behaving this way, and especially victims, family victims. But
Yeah.
I do notice that it seems that the structure of what this is about is just basically what they can get. What can we get? What can we get?
Yeah.
And they're rotating people and recycling people. It's just really unreal. Hi, guys.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I said earlier what. Because I mean, we didn't see eye to eye, but I still really felt for you. What they did to you, Kelly, was just, it's just so wrong. You know, you must have been devastated because you really fought for him, supported him, and stood up for him, and didn't you? You were a real advocate for him. That's the word. You were.
I loved the family, and I appreciate your support enough, because it was definitely devastating to me, and it took me a long time to get over that.
Yeah.
But just, I know that it doesn't make me feel good, but at the same time, I'm glad that there are other people that are waking up to this, because then it shows that, like for me, I have proof. I have proof of everything. I showed it before, and I'll show it again. And for them to say, we're gonna sue everybody who's talking about us, especially like the live last week, Rabid, when your live got reported, because they were like, oh, this is,
it wasn't actually that live. I thought what had happened is that they had reported the wrong live. It was a previous live, but and I was saying this to Bam the other day as well. They did mean the other live, but it didn't come from them. It came from someone called BBT Boston for something completely different. It was just a silly privacy claim because I showed a goddamn email that had our public email address on it. So it wasn't that, but yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's good, yeah, because there was nothing in that live that was not public information, so it's fine.
That's true. I mean, everything we said was the truth. It's not like we're coming up with all this weird things, and then we have nothing to back it up. And just hearing everybody's story, and that's right there to where the extent is when you purchase something. I'm just saying purchase, okay? We're not saying donate, but when you purchase something, you expect to get that item, okay? So when you donate, you're hoping, okay, I donate to the Cancer Foundation. Well, I would hope that this Cancer Foundation is doing the right thing, and they're doing the legal thing, and they're applying the funds for more research. Well, it goes back to this. They said, oh, we need the money to sue AD. Well, wait a minute. That didn't happen. That's why people are upset. It's the principle of the matter. It's more than that. It's money, but the principle of the matter is, you said that you were using this specific GoFundMe or whatever for this, and now you're turning around and it never happened.
Yeah.
Did you know that obviously the Rzuceks got all of Chris's and Shanann's assets, right, and all their belongings. Did
Correct.
you know that they set up a online um, thing whereby they were selling all of Shanann and the girls' possessions, some online store?
Now, Sandy told me that they gave everything away.
Yeah, that was claimed that they donated everything to charity, but I've heard
Mhm.
other rumors that there was an online store and they sold off some items from Shanann and the girls, which is weird to me.
It is very
Um,
weird. Yeah.
and apparently collected money for Lupus, but never revealed how much they received or which was donated to a charity. There's just like a pattern of these things, and I mentioned this earlier. If you just compare it with, say, the Gabby Petito family, who have collected money, a lot of money, to be donated to victims of violent domestic abuse, but
Mhm.
they have been transparent about it, and it's all accounted for. People can find out where the money's gone. They have good relations with the organisations that they've worked with, and it's just so abundantly missing here with all this. And like you say, everyone thought the initial 25K of the crowd justice was for the retainer, I guess. And then it got extended. There was a stretch that no one was made aware of prior. And then there was a second stretch, and it's now up to 75K. But Cohen Davis are putting it in writing that they're holding Armchair liable for his legal fees. So hold on, is that not double dipping, right?
Yeah. Because he wants to get the money. Oh, give me the money for the attorney, loan it to me, or whatever. He's going to ask for, give me or loan me and I'll pay you
Mm-hmm.
back. And, there's just a lot of scamming going on.
Mm-hmm.
But this should be brought to the forefront. And I do think that people need to realize, that just because it's a victim's family doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean they have the right to shit on everybody. And
No, they don't. No,
no.
they don't. And it's very, I have to say this, it's very interesting that after this tragedy, Sandy was using her maiden name, right? People have pointed
Oh
this out
yeah.
as kind of interesting. But
Yep.
then when she started up her cooking channel, all of a sudden she's Sandy Rzucek.
Yep.
That is just interesting, and you can make your own, um, and you can make your own kind of think your own opinions on why she might have done that. That's interesting.
Yes. Well, she does have a supposed famous person in her family, and I don't know if that's the reason why she had her maiden name up for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the attention came and obviously they wanted people to find them, so she changed it to the
Mm-hmm.
Ruzek name.
And if it was just one isolated thing like that, no one would even point it out, right? But
Oh yeah, no.
when there's all these patterns of kind of dodgy behavior, then you're allowed to criticize it and have an opinion on it.
Mm-hmm. And everybody here has the right to an opinion,
They do.
and that's where it draws the line of, you guys are lying, you're this, you're that. No, this is our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to me telling my side of the story, I have proof and backup for it.
There
Not
you
that no
go.
one else here does, because everybody has backup
There
of
you go.
stuff. Right. It's just, and honestly, Alma, that's really smart. Just donate straight through to the place that you want to donate to, the charity. Don't go through the Rzuceks. It's not
And
anywhere.
and most people are aware of some of the rumors about Frankie. in some of his perhaps extracurricular activity, right?
Right.
And to hear you describe the time when he asked for money, and
Mhm.
you explain to him that, once you accounted for your grocery shopping, you had, what was it,
$82.
$80?
82.
$82
Yes.
left. And to hear that he said, well, I don't suppose you would give me that, would you?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, bearing in mind what I just described some of the rumors as being, that sounds to me like a very desperate person to ask still for someone's $85 that's left in their account because they need to have it. That's worrying. And people have heard some of the stories when Molly Golightly got involved, and was trying to help him. And Sandy got in contact with Molly and was begging her not to help him for reasons that
Mhm.
may be implied. And then when you put all this together with some of this perhaps grifting behavior, the fact that his family is very, very comfortable financially, that he may not be getting supported perhaps financially the way that they would like to support him. They may have concerns about that.
Yeah.
Then you can add the dots, guys, right?
Mhm.
YouTuber Rabid, at the time of the murder, I believe the Rzuceks were separated. I heard that. That's why she was using her maiden name. I believe that Senior has left the family. Word on the street is he's living with a girlfriend. I've heard rumors of that same thing. Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, Elma, for the loss of your cousin. That's terrible. Um,
Sorry to hear that, Alma.
yeah, that definitely is interesting to me because that just shows his demeanor and personality wasn't being represented accurately via his friends or his family. So I feel really bad that if that's true, I don't know. I mean, I heard it here last week actually.
Yeah. And you and Frank Senior have sounds like you have a good kind of you had a good relationship, right, between you. It was pretty respectful both ways.
Very.
Yeah, yeah.
And he treated me very lovingly, and he's just a very nice person. Very nice. It's just he's in the middle of a nightmare. And if he got out, then that says a lot, doesn't it? I mean, that
Right.
really does.
Yeah. Meggsy, I can't let that through. Sorry.
No, and you know, the online back and forth that people have, which is the noise over there that comes and says, "You guys are lying, you're hurting a family, they don't have that concept of awareness of what's really going on, and they're closed-minded. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I was closed-minded at one point because I was emotionally entangled with this family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for me, it was like I was so close minded. I was like, no, 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 that can't be true. That can't be true. And now that I was able, well, after they treated me the way they did, when I pulled away, I realized, wow, these people are really, really sick,
Mm-hmm.
to do what they did and to lie.
It has a lot of weight coming from you for me, to hear you say that, Kelly. Because that's not. I don't think you say that very easily, right?
No.
Even in the aftermath of what went on, because some people have tried to suggest that you're just saying these things because for personal reasons, right? Because kind of things didn't go well in the end. But
Right.
I genuinely don't see it that way, you know, at all.
And I don't care if people don't understand it either, and they think, oh, she's bruised ego. That's what I heard. That was the saying to me, you just have a bruised ego. And no, it's got nothing to do with ego. It has to do with whether or not I felt important to them, and they were important to me as a family member, as a family person, that it definitely threw me. It's like they pulled the rug right out from under me. And that's what they did to everybody. That's what they're doing. They just find new people. You know what I mean? They just find new people to fall into this trap.
And if it was all about ego, you would have went straight onto your own channel after you were on BAMS, wouldn't you? Or you would have went
Correct.
straight live after the live the other week, right? You've taken your time away from YouTube, which is a very healthy thing to do, right? When things
Oh yeah.
go askew. I've done that, right? Everyone knows
Oh
I've
yeah.
done that, and it's always the best thing I've done because this whole YouTube thing is so abstract. It can so easily turn sour if you're not careful, especially when things either you get involved with someone personally, kind of behind the scenes. Things can easily go askew. The words that you spoke, like your testimony, had its truth contained within it. The way that you spoke, not just what you said, but the way you spoke. For me,
Mm-hmm. Well,
um,
it's really hard to say, hey, these people are not that good of people. It is hard for me to say that. And it's not, it has nothing to do with me wanting to get clout or whatever, because I'm not on YouTube really. And when I don't know how, oh, you tagged me. That's what it was. I don't know how I was able, but you tagged me and I was like,
yeah,
oh my God, they're finally other people are wanting to examine this and
yeah.
kind of pull this apart and say, well, wait a minute, what is happening right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been talking. It just so happened I've been talking about professional victimhood in general because it's a
Mm-hmm.
massive, massive problem in general, and it's
Right.
so present here. It really is.
The salty bitch asked me a question. What did they say about his criminal record? Did that ever come up? They made one comment. They said, and because I didn't even ask about it because I didn't even know. And Sandy and I were on the phone, and she said, "Oh, that stuff about being arrested and stuff, that was all made up. That was a lie. That was, that's
Wow.
all it was. It was a lie." And so that to me was, I mean, I right away was like, okay, how would I have known?
Wow.
And I didn't do my research, my diligence. You really want to do that. Just look into it. Don't believe people like that. Oh, don't listen to that. Just turn, don't even Google it. Like, that's basically
Hmm.
what they wanted to say, was don't even look into it.
Hmm. Carrie asked, "Does anyone know if it's a fact about Senior or is it just a rumor?" Well, we have to just acknowledge it's a rumor.
Yeah, just I mean, I haven't heard anything, but
Um, Someone was asking about Shanann's law. It was either
yeah.
Alma or Megzi, I think. So yeah, where did the donations for that go?
That's a good question. Like, I said earlier, I wasn't involved or
Yeah.
privy to any of the financial, information, but they did receive the money. And where did it go? I have no clue. In their pocket. That's as far as I know.
Hmm.
In their pocket, because nothing happened. Now, I was with them for that whole Shenan's Law thing, and I'm sure Nuff can remember that as well. You know, it's just it's strange to me that they would. I would be so embarrassed to create a GoFundMe or PayPal and say this is for such and such Shenan's Law, and then it never happened. No movement, no information, no updates. And when people would ask updates about Shenan's Law, and I would go straight to Sandy and say, these people are asking me, because they would ask me, and she would say, just tell them it's none of their business and block them. Well, I didn't really understand how to answer that.
Right.
Like, I couldn't just go to somebody and that's asking me and say, you know what, just F off, it's not your business. Then it makes me look like I'm the jerk.
They try to do the same thing with the Claire Morgan stuff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Alma. You are too. Did they take the money? Though they probably didn't take it, and it went back to the people who donated. Nothing that they took has ever been refunded or donated. I hate to say it like that, but that I know.
And it really grates to observe the language of this community post, which is in relation to Frankie's apparent documentary. This is a veiled threat in here to people like BAM, people that have spoken out, people that are putting out content, people that are going on panels talking about the problems. So he's apparently going to be doing a documentary about all the harassment and defamation and everything he's gone through on YouTube. So you can imagine how much of an epic gaslight this could possibly be. But he's, as I say, he's trying to threaten people here that they may find themselves included in this. And this is the extent and the kind of danger of this kind of manipulation by people like this that will just naturally find themselves in the good graces of naive people that may be able to pull some strings, put them in contact with people that maybe wanting to do a documentary on something like this. Because how could you ever explain the last 3 or 4 years of what's gone on here? He says, I've heard that a few people are concerned about being in my documentary where I expose the evil that has plagued my family and ruined my life for the past 5 years. Do they have a guilty conscience? If you didn't knowingly break the law, lie, defame, threaten, incite, hate, torment, put my life in danger, and mentally abuse me, you shouldn't have anything to worry about, right? And you can go on to read the rest of that. It is a veiled threat.
Well, and that, let me just say something first in this first little couple sentences that you read. People don't have a guilty conscience. You are the liar. If a liar says, I'm going to make a documentary because you all are evil and you all have hurt me and hurt my family and I've lost my sister and my only nieces and only nephew and I'm the one and So what he doesn't realize is it's not a guilty conscience. There's no breaking the law. There's no defamation. You've done this all to yourself. You threatened people, you harassed, you terrorized, you defamed. You did it, Frankie, I should say. No one else.
Mm-hmm.
There may have been jerks, that have said.
There always will be, right?
Right.
Always.
There's always jerks. But what are you going to do? You put yourself out in the open, in the public. This is what's going to happen. But to be actually saying that we have a guilty conscience, no, dear. It's the opposite. And you know for a fact that you have been doing everything that you could to make everybody's lives miserable. And to ask, and I'm just going to talk about myself here because I can't speak for anyone else, but to ask me for my last $80, because this is the exact number. I will never forget it. It was, I spent my groceries. It was $117.23. I know it to the penny. And I had only $82 left in my checking account. And he had the audacity to ask me for my last 80. So no, Frankie, we don't have a guilty conscience. We just, if you start defaming us, guess what? You're going to have a lawsuit on your hands. Because if I look at any documentary and it has anything to do with majority of people that I know that did not hurt them, I think we should all hit them back. Because that is not the case. We're not jealous, Frankie. And we've documented everything too. So why don't you send your documentary people out and we'll show them what you are really like.
Wow. Those were powerful words. Well said.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, I did a poll prior to the previous live, asking, do you believe Frankie has exploited his own tragedy? And I commented how, even bearing in mind this is my channel, it was always going to be a little skewed, but that is still pretty surprising. 77% saying yes out of 260 votes. Okay, these are anonymous votes. And I just checked the poll before going live tonight, and it's gone down a little bit. 74%, but that's out of 423 votes. Anonymous votes.
Yep.
That speaks for itself.
Absolutely. That's just screaming that people are seeing this. And it's good that you had done this poll, because if he tries to pull his stupid documentary out, well, how about we show you the polls of people who think that you've exploited your own tragedy?
Right.
Oh, Gianna, I did not want to date Junior. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no.
Oh, yeah, Suzanne, I think people would have been happy to do it not anonymously as well, right? I take your point. But I tell you what, I think this is a good time to end this. The way that you nailed that at the end there, Kelly, is just perfect. We can't do better than that. That was powerful.
Oh, thank you. Well, I want people to remember that we have the power. He doesn't. And that's why he makes these little stupid temper tantrum community posts. And we really are all sick and tired of hearing about them. Seriously.
Yeah. And if any, obviously no one, I invited anyone to come up here and make the counter argument. No one did.
Nope.
If anyone wants to do that at some point, then get in contact. I'll be happy to do that. Truth be told, Val, Tasha, anyone.
They'll not come up, cowards.
Right.
Well, you could do is have them do something anonymously, like a little, something with you, and then you could play it, and they don't, even if it's,
Yeah.
I mean, we could do something. You could do something anonymously.
Yeah. Yeah. If you, yeah, email me. Anyone out there? I'm in contact with someone, another creator right now through email, who is not in agreement with some of the stuff that was said. So I'm in
Oh,
that
good.
process right now. I don't know if we'll ever do anything public, but we shall see.
Good.
But yeah, I'm going to end here, guys. We're
Okay.
just over 3 hours there. Thanks so much, Kelly, and thanks so much, Nuff Nuff. I really appreciate you
Welcome.
guys coming up.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're
Thanks for having
welcome.
me. Night, Kelly. Bye,
Bye,
Rabid.
Nuff.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys. And thanks to Genetic Code coming up as well. Genetic was like one of those, those bunnies with the Duracell adverts, Her internet would run out every 5-10 minutes, but
What are you
she
trying to say?
persevered. She persevered.
What are you trying to say? That she's a battery?
You know those adverts, right? That promoted how good Duracell batteries were, right? And they would run out eventually. Well, her internet was like the rabbits with the Duracell batteries.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say, Robert. I'm just being facetious.
I'm pretending you're not, though. I'm pretending you're not. I can't keep digging, right? I don't want to keep digging.
Right, I'm going. Night, night, everybody. Thanks, Mod. You've been great.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thumbs up on your way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Night,
Thank you so
bye,
much.
all. Love you loads. Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks again. A lot to think about here. I think it's an important topic. Oh, you're welcome, Salty. Thanks. We shall see how things develop, right? And I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully, we can talk about Sarah Boone next time. Take care, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.